Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is long-awaited cornhole simulation, Dan Ryan.
Oh, gross. Or hot? I'm not sure which. One of the two.
Now that 2025 is well underway, it's time to look ahead to the future and discuss what we're most excited to play in the year ahead. What fresh horrors will the AAA game industry rain down upon us all in 2025? Watch out for scary Pac-Men because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
So excited for that Pac-Man game.
Right? Hi, everyone. This is episode 551. It is the week of January 31st, 2025. And welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. And speaking of which, Dan, what's shaking? What's cooking? What's the happy haps?
Nothing much. I am, so I'm a week out now from the final infusion, which is a good place to be. I am excited about it. I am very much looking forward to next Friday when I wake up and don't drive to poison my body for a few hours and, get to continue on this healing journey that I am now on for the next 6 weeks until, I get my scan and everything comes back clear, hopefully, knock on wood, and, I can really move on with my life at that point. But man, this week, it's just been, I've been tired. I'm tired, boss. You ever see Green Mile?
Oh, God, yes. Great movie. Haven't seen that in years.
Oh, my God. Wonderful movie, right? When Michael Clark Duncan looks at him and he's like, I'm tired, boss. Like, that's where I'm at right now. I'm fucking tired, man. I'm just tired. Everything hurts. The adrenaline of it all is like wearing off. So now it's just, okay, I'm done. And now I got to heal. Now I have to heal from all the damage that I've done trying to heal from the cancer.
Right.
So it's just, it's a weird kind of place to be in. And also a frustrating place because all right, I'm done. I'm ready to feel better, and obviously that's not going to happen. I just poisoned myself for the last 6 months straight. It's not going to be like, oh, my eyebrows are back. That was awesome. It took 2 days. Great. So it's just kind of managing that expectation of when I'm going to actually feel better. Cause my hand is still jacked up. I still can't play anything. I still can't button small, buttons. I can button my pants. I can't button a shirt button because that kind of fine motor skill just isn't there in my hand right now. So, if I'm not playing Snap on my computer or my phone, I'm not doing anything else because I can't. So all of that's frustrating. Everything hurts, but I'm done. At the same time, I'm done, and it's getting better every day. So there's some positivity there. I'm just tired, just tired. I'm ready to feel better. I'm ready for my taste to come back. Chat and I were talking this week about what kind of things I'm excited to eat as my taste comes back, and I was I very much am looking forward to having Thanksgiving dinner at some point, because I miss that, So I need sweet potatoes and fucking turkey and just the whole thing, just all of those types of things. So yeah, it's a weird place to be. Now my car door won't lock. My kid broke my door today, so I got to figure that out. So that's fun. Yeah.
My car door wouldn't open this week, but that's because it was frozen shut. That happens every winter.
No, that would be totally fine. I get that. That's nice and easy. But the kid shut the door this morning on as I was dropping them off to school and caught the seatbelt in the door. And they're kids, so they close doors harder than they need to. Because they're children, and it's every morning. Don't slam the door. I didn't slam the door. You're right. I just said it to hear myself say it. You didn't actually slam the door. I just wanted to tell you not to, in case you were thinking about it like later at some point. Fuck, you slammed the door. That's why I said the. Yeah, that's it. Just a tip as you go throughout school today. Don't slam any doors. No, you slam the fucking door. Don't slam the fucking door. So she shut the door much harder than she should have and caught the seatbelt in it, and now the door won't lock. So cool. I'll figure that out tomorrow. That's a tomorrow me problem.
That's for Dan of the future.
That's right. Not in the distant future. I do work in Philly. My car doors do need to lock. That's like not a. I'm just going to leave these open all the time.
Can you do like a padlock situation? Can that can't really work on a car door?
No, I doubt it. But I mean,
just,
maybe
put a
if
sign that says "locked, please don't try." Or
don't even think about it. That's right. Just a finger pointing, like, keep moving, buddy.
Attack dog inside.
Keep it moving. Yeah. No, maybe if I leave it open in Philly, it'll get stolen, and then, new car. So that's fine.
There you go. Is that how that works?
I have theft insurance, I believe, because I work in Philly. So,
I think you've got yourself the makings of a plan here, Dan.
I very well might.
This seems like a textbook case of insurance fraud.
Fraud, yes. Frowned. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm at. How you doing?
I'm doing not so bad. I'm let's see. I was having a tough brain week this week, and I finally caught myself back up. So I caught up on work. I was hilariously behind on work for some of this week, just because I was having such a hard time concentrating on anything. I picked myself up by my bootstraps and made that shit happen yesterday and today, and here we are, caught up. No, it's been a. So let's see. Where do I begin this stupid story? So last week, last weekend, I decided to go into. I needed new exercise clothes, right? Because I went out. I'd go outside, and it's like 8 degrees outside, and I'm wearing gym shorts, and like it's not exactly a long walk between my car and my house, but when I go outside and I have to like stand outside for 5 minutes brushing snow off my car in shorts in 6-degree weather, it's like, you know what?
That sucks.
Maybe buy some pants. And also I have these I have like those, sweat wicking exercise shirts, but they're like, they're not super tight, but they don't leave a lot to the imagination, and that's that's fine for me when I'm exercising by myself in my house, but going out to the gym, don't feel super great about that. So I wanted to get myself some new exercise clothes. So I found those same shirts that I had, but in a 2XL size. They're still not extraordinarily flattering. Thank you, mirrors in the gym, for showing me exactly what I look like while I'm doing all these horrible things. But they're more comfortable, and I'm starting to care a little bit less because I've been going there long enough that I'm just like, well, whatever. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it.
Yeah.
But the thing that interests me the most, the most interesting part of this clothes buying situation was the pants. I had a notion in my head of what kind of pants I wanted to get, and I could not find them at Kohl's, at least not immediately. But I did find something that looked like, these look like exercise pants. And then I went into the dressing room and I tried them on, and they fit comfortably. And I was like, all right, this is it. These are the pants. They got a little zipper pocket that I could put my phone in while I'm exercising. And they're black, so they go with everything. I I think this is they're on sale. This is the right situation for me. It is time to buy these pants. So I bought the pants and I bought the shirts, and then I on Tuesday morning it was time for me to start exercising. So I get up in the morning and Karen's still fast asleep, and I go to put the pants on, and they are extraordinarily loud. Like the material they're made out of is like, it's just making tons of noise. I'm like putting them on, and I'm like, I'm gonna wake her up from just the sound of the pants. They're so freaking loud, especially when it's 5 a.m. and there's no other sound in the house besides whatever ambient music John's listening to when he's trying to sleep at night. And it's like, this is ridiculous. This is just straight up the most absurd thing ever. And then I was like afraid that it was going to be pissing people off in the gym. And then I remembered, like, no, there's always music playing in the gym. This isn't going to sound like anything in the gym. This just sounds like a fucking hurricane because there's absolutely nothing else happening in the house. They're shockingly loud pants, but they're comfortable and they get the job done. So anyways,
that's not nothing.
Tuesday morning. And I want to get your opinion on this, because I've gotten a couple of different opinions on this. I brought this up on we recorded TWEP last night, and I got some opinions on that too, but I want to know your opinion. So,
okay.
Tuesday morning, my plan was I was finally going to try the Stairmaster, right? The stair stepping machine was like, this is the one thing, because I'm trying to only do running when I, once every couple of weeks, I want to do running just because I don't want to hurt myself again, but I also want to keep myself in the habit of being able to do it because it's such good cardio. So I didn't feel I've been doing the elliptical and I've been doing the bike, but I'm like, you know what? I want to do the Stairmaster this week. This is my plan. So Tuesday morning, I go in there, and that's what I'm out for. There's 2 of them. And they're right next to each other. And when I go in there, my friend Erica, she's always there before me because she wakes up at 4 o'clock in the goddamn morning to get to the gym because she's a crazy person. When I get there, she's on one of the Stairmaster things.
Okay.
And I immediately have this crisis of, well, what do I do? What's etiquette here? Is this like a urinal situation? Do I, like, because, you don't just walk up to the urinal next to somebody else. Now, granted, if there's only 2, I kind of feel like the general consensus is like, if it's an emergency, go for it. But if it's not an emergency, just hang back for a minute, leave and come back in a moment. Just, you shouldn't pee directly next to somebody unless you absolutely have to.
Maybe you. I think it's fucking hysterical.
just
to
start talking.
Right up.
So this is the situation I'm in, right? Because that is one thing, but also it's somebody you don't know. It's a stranger. This is somebody I know and talk to every day at pickup. So, like, do I at kid pickup at the school? So do I get on the Stairmaster next to her and be like, good morning, workout chum, how are things? Like, she's got headphones on and everything. Like, I feel like talking to her is just going to be freaking awkward because she's in the middle of a workout and I'm going to be sweating like a fucking pig. But then standing mere inches away from somebody that I know and am friends with and talk to every day and not talking to them for like 10, 15 solid minutes is also kind of weird. So I just didn't do it on Tuesday. What do you think the right thing to do in that situation was?
I 100% would go up to the Stairmaster and start doing, if there's only 2 of them and one of them is being used and I want a Stairmaster, I'm going to use the Stairmaster. And I would probably just give a casual, what's up? And then just go about my business. Because if she's got she's got headphones in.
She's usually watching TV. Like, she's usually watching something on her phone.
Yeah. That's fine. And if
I feel like I would feel so stupid awkward.
I mean, yeah, but isn't that kind of your default setting?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. But there's other machines in there. It's like, sure, I wanted to use that one, but I could use the exercise bike instead, which is what I did. I think I did the elliptical instead. But I don't know. It was a weird situation. I didn't know what to do with it. So I've already gotten to the point where, like, I didn't used to. There's this, the sauna that I go into afterwards. If there was somebody else in there, I wouldn't go in. And then I was in there, and another dude came in and sat down, and I was like, okay, now I understand the etiquette. There's enough room for multiple people to be in here, so that's what we're doing, and that's fine. But that one, but he's a stranger. You know, he's somebody I don't know.
Sure.
But it's somebody I do know. I feel like it's a whole different can of worms.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I mean, for like, I've never met a stranger. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to fucking everybody, everywhere.
Well, that's just it.
All the time.
I love talking to people that I don't know. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll occasionally I'll shoot the breeze with people who come into the fucking sauna. Like, I will say things to strangers, but when it's somebody I talk to and am going to talk to again later in the day, it just felt weird. But yes, I am weird. I overthink everything.
Next time that happens, just go up there, and if she tries to talk to you, be like, I don't know who you are until kid pickup. And then just see how she responds.
Well, see, I've already burnt that bridge because we've interacted at the gym plenty of times. But it's usually just like a quick fist bump or like a hi, like, because, you know, she's usually in the middle of something or I'm in the middle of something. We're both in the mindset of just like, do not talk to anybody. Just look straight ahead and keep to your own shit.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, though, is like when you're at the gym and you're working out, like, it's not a conversation. You're really not supposed to be there and like, oh, let's fucking shoot the shit for hours. You know, but
some people do. People come. Some people do, and they'll be on the treadmills, and they'll just like be speed walking or jogging next to each other and having a conversation. But they showed up to do that. You know, they came together.
Right.
They started together.
That's what I'm
saying. One of them didn't just like pull up and be like, hey, what's shaking? How's the treadmill today, bud?
Nice and lubed. I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is it treading correctly? Yeah, like I feel like that's a little bit different though, because like you see like the walking groups of like old people in the mall,
right?
Because we're old. Like that's a thing that used to happen. We're like whatever. You go walking on a treadmill, you're power walking, and you got the fucking fists pumping, and you're doing the thing with the elbows. There's a lot of elbows and shoulders in power walking. But you're talking about everybody's shitty kids and like that sort of thing. But I feel like a Stairmaster is a silent activity. I don't know why.
Because so there is more to the story. I did actually get to use it on Thursday. I went in on Thursday and it was all clear. So I got on the Stairmaster for the first time. And this was fucking miraculous. I get on the Stairmaster for the first time. I'm pushing the buttons. I'm trying to figure out what everything does. And it starts moving.
Right.
So I start taking the first couple of steps, and like 3 or 4 steps in, wind starts hitting my face. Oh. This machine has a built-in fan.
Fuck off. That's awesome. Right?
Oh my fucking God.
That's great.
It's now my favorite machine. Like,
it's now the only one I will use.
It's definitely one of the things. I have a neck fan. It never occurred to me to bring it with me to the gym. It should have. It's extremely obvious.
Yeah. It's really,
never
really
occurred
obvious.
to me. I'm probably going to do that I'm definitely going to be doing that come summertime. I'm like, no question.
Sure.
But anyway, so within minutes, I'm super winded because I climb stairs all day. So I'm like, this should be okay. Because what I'll do is I'll do about 20 minutes of cardio. Like it doesn't matter what the distance is or anything like that. I'll just do that for 20 minutes of my time there. And so it's like, all right, I can do the Stairmaster for 20 minutes. I climb stairs all day. But like, when you're doing it for 20 minutes straight, it's different. Well, shit. Because I remember when Erica was doing it and I got on the elliptical, I was looking over at her and being like, she's going awfully slow. I wonder if this is harder than I think it is. I'm sure it is.
It definitely is.
I just wasn't quite prepared because like I'm on there and I like set a pace of like, yeah, this is how I climb stairs at home. And it's like, I climb stairs for like 2 to 3 seconds at a time when I'm at home.
if that
is tops.
Yeah.
If I'm going from basement all the way up to the bedroom, like this is like just constant stairs. And that that was the most I've sweated, even with the fan blowing on me, like since I've started being there. And I was very proud of myself for not falling off of it, because it's very smartly designed. There's I didn't even realize what it was until I had been doing it for like 10 minutes or so. There's like a little, like, it is basically an escalator. Right. So it's not like one of those things where it's just like two things that go up and down that simulate stairs. It's a mini escalator. Right. But when the stairs get like close to the bottom, there's like a bump. So you feel it shake. Okay. So you know that don't do it there. That's the bad place.
Don't do it there. You're going to fucking die. Huh.
Oh, this is the small pop. Small pop just went off. Okay, sorry.
Stairs are no fucking joke, dude. When the building I used to work in before I got the new job, where I'm currently at in the city, I used to have my office was up on the 3rd floor, and where we had to check in the morning, because fuck us, I suppose, was in the basement. So every day, first thing in the morning, I get to work and I got to walk up 4 flights of steps. And the first, I don't know, month or so that I was there, I would walk up those 4 flights of steps and I would get to my office and be like, all right, well, no work's getting done for at least the next half hour. So I need to recover. This is fucking bullshit. And then after a while, you know, like you're taking them no problem. But stairs are unrelenting. They are no fucking joke, man.
They really aren't. And it was one of those exercises that I felt pretty good when I was done, except the fact that I went in there with my legs already hurting. Because on Tuesday, I made the mistake, and I say mistake loosely because it was very good for me and I will be doing it again at some point. But I made the mistake of trying some new leg machines. And I was pretty confident that I did a really good job on those machines. So there's 2 machines that are next to each other. One of them that you sit down and you put your legs in these little stirrup thingies and you squeeze them together. And you can like adjust how much weight's in there. I think it did like 110 pounds or something. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. So whenever I'm doing some sort of weight machine, I always do reps of 50. I'll, do like 25 and then 15 and 15 or whatever to give myself breaks in between. But I always do something of 50. So I did that one, and then there's another one next to it that's the opposite. You sit into it and you push your knees outwards.
Push. Yeah.
So I did those 2 back to back, and I was feeling pretty confident about it because, like, my legs are okay. There's a lot of weakness in my upper body, and my core is basically non-existent, but my legs are okay. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
They still
were
hurt.
They not okay
from Tuesday? Like, I mean, I felt great after I did them there, but holy shit, the next day it was like trying to walk was rough business. So doing the stairs, on Thursday after doing that to myself on Tuesday was like, at least it wasn't the same exact muscles, but like, man, my legs were feeling pretty wonky for a chunk of this week. My inner thighs are still hurting. And when I tell you that me getting in and out of those machines was probably the least graceful I've ever been in my entire life, like, I almost wish, barring my own embarrassment, I wish I had a camera set up so that I could just view the sheer hilarity of me trying to get in and out of these machines, because I've been having this lower back issue since like October that comes and goes, and my back wasn't feeling super spectacular on Tuesday. So I was like making sure to not bend the wrong way and hurt myself, but also like sit in here and also figure out how to use the machine and be like, the seat's too low. I got to get back out and move the seat up. And how do I do that? What button do I press? And I'm just like clomping around, and I didn't fall over. I came real close to falling over, but I didn't fall over. And I felt very proud of myself for that.
That is not nothing. That is a win, and you should take it as such.
I have yet to actually fall over in the gym. That's a point of pride for me. I have yet to do something so colossally stupid that people come up to me and say, "Are you okay?" To which the answer will always be, "Fuck no. I'm here."
No, not even. Do you see what I'm doing to myself? No. I'm obviously not okay.
You see what I'm shaped like, and then you see what I'm trying to do with this. This plus
and now
that.
I'm on the
now I'm on the ground.
The floor. Obviously, things have gone awry.
And now I have tape all over my face.
And now I have tape all over my face. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So, I mean, but it's going well. I woke up stupid early this morning. Like, I was pretty tired from, getting up early to go to the gym and recording this week's episode the night before. So we recorded on Wednesday. We didn't record last night. We recorded on Wednesday. Either way, I got up super early and I was up late. So I was really tired. I was so tired that I forgot what I was even saying. What the hell was I talking about? That train just left the station.
Feeling pretty good. And
yeah, but I had a point.
I don't know where you were going.
Gone. I mean, it's fucking gone. I don't know. It was going somewhere. There was a point to the story, and it's fucking gone. Wow.
Well, I mean, you might want to get that looked at. I don't know. That's not great, Chris.
It's because I'm paying attention to talking and I'm paying attention to doing this stupid gambler thing at the same time. So,
sure.
My attention is split. So anyway, I had a date night. One of my New Year's resolutions was to make sure that Karen and I get a date night once a month, because that's something we haven't done nearly enough of over the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, it's
just
hard, man.
Yeah, just going out and not even like a crazy expensive thing. Just have a date night. So I actually went out to my mom out to lunch with my mom last week.
we had a date at my mom's
thing. We
house.
talked about that. We talked about I had pho, fee fi fo fum, whatever. Pho. Yeah. I had that, and that was great. So we were trying to figure out where to go for our date night, and Karen picked a restaurant a dim sum restaurant in Smithville. I've never had dim sum. The place is called Dim Sum and Then Some.
Love that.
Love that. So I was like, yeah, count me in. Dim sum and then some. That sounds like my kind of stupid. Let's do it. So it was very good. We got two things. We split a sampler platter, which, oh God, I can't remember what it had on it. I liked 3 out of the 4 things that were on the sampler platter. There were two different kinds of, I want to say, dumplings. One was pork. The shrimp one was phenomenal. The pork one was very good. There was a spring roll, which I didn't know the difference between a spring roll and an egg roll. I think it's that a spring roll doesn't have meat in it. I don't know.
Sure, let's go with that. But I don't know that I know the difference.
This one did not have meat in it, and it was really fucking tasty. And there was this sauce I was dipping it in that was really good. Oh, and they brought those little crunchity things and like a little thing of duck sauce to dip it in, and oh, that was really fucking good too. But then the last one was like this crab thing, and look, I love crab, and so I was all excited for it. But I didn't know that it was like crab and cream cheese, and I do not care for cream cheese. So not only was it a huge fucking surprise that I bit into that thing, I was like, but then there was just that oily, cream cheesy taste in my mouth for the rest of the night. That was very upsetting.
That would be a crab rangoon.
Crab rangoon. That was it.
Yes. Yes. I fucking love them.
Karen was just like, sucker, more for me.
Yep. Yeah, fuck you. I'll take them. The difference between a spring roll and an egg roll is the wrapper. Spring rolls
I thought the wrapper was a little different.
A thinner, more delicate wrapper made with flour and water, while egg rolls, which, surprise, surprise, were invented in the United States, have a thicker, crispier wrapper that includes egg.
I like them both. I talked several months ago about how I had first enjoyed an egg roll, and I've just been sort of getting a little bit more into Asian food, and it's been very nice. We also ordered a side of beef fried rice, which was very tasty. I
would like you to seek out Thai iced tea.
What is Thai iced tea?
Thai tea is a red tea, and it's a milk tea, so it's served cold. with like usually sweetened condensed milk, so that you have like the creaminess and the sweetness in there. It is an incredibly unique tasting beverage that you will either love, as I do, or will spit out immediately.
It doesn't sound like my jam, but, you know.
It's so interesting.
I'm not unwilling.
It's incredibly earthy. Is like, I don't want to say it has a good dirt taste, but like there's an earthiness to it. It's fucking weird. I can't give you tasting notes. It tastes like Thai iced tea, but I fucking love it. Like, it is one of my very, very favorite beverages on the planet. And it really is one of those things, like, you have a sip and you're like, well, this is what my entire life is about now. Or if you ever put that near me again, I will kick you in the dick.
I will never stop
vomiting. There's just no in between on Thai iced tea.
So dim sum and then some, I would say all around was a positive experience. I did use the chopsticks again. I was very proud of myself for doing that at Full Life. And except I had to give up on the fried rice because I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to eat fried rice. Like, I was eating it with the chopsticks because I got like 5 grains of rice per scoop or whatever. And it's this is horribly inefficient.
It is. Usually when I eat fried rice,
if it was sticky rice, that would be a different animal. Yeah. But this was not sticky; it was super loose.
Right.
So I'm like, this is horribly inefficient. So I switched over to the fork for that. I eventually gave up and just like, look, I need to shovel this food into my mouth, and there's just not enough flat surface on these chopsticks to make this happen.
But the way I usually do it, and I don't know if this is like, oh, fuck, look at the American and the way he's eating this. But I usually put the bowl really close to my mouth and just kind of like flick it in. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of like shovel from a close proximity when it's not a sticky rice. Like if it's a looser, like a fried rice or something like that. I do have a question for you. This is a very, it's a personal question for me. It's not a personal. I'm going to ask. It doesn't need all of this. I'm just going to ask it. In Smithville, this sounds like a way bigger setup. So, anal, Kris. Let's really get down to the nitty gritty.
Now, how do they do it in Smithville?
How do they do it in Smithville? Have you ever been pegged? The listeners need to know. By anyone other than me. In Smithville, they used to have, when I was in college, a pizza place in there that would do a thing called Buffalo Tails.
Yep.
And it was
Costello's.
Okay. Is it still there?
Yep.
Okay. Because it's the most unique buffalo sauce I've ever had. And I've been looking at a lot of like crock pot meals and shit, because as is well documented, I can't cook, but I can probably crock pot, and we're going to find out if I can. That's going to be like my gateway drug. That's going to be my like, oh, I had a sip of a spritzer and now I'm an alcoholic. You know, like that's kind of where I'm going with the crock pot thing. And I saw like some recipes for like, just like buffalo chicken dips and stuff. And I was like, man, you know what I haven't had in fucking forever is the buffalo tail. It was such a unique flavor. And I just wasn't sure if it was still there. And I could have looked it up on the internet, but I didn't. And you said Smithville, so I was reminded of it. I am happy to know it's there.
Yeah,
I will be making a trip.
Costello's is in the historic, it's in the Village Green side.
Isn't it like, it's like right in the middle? There's like right in the middle, like on the water. Yeah, you're talking about Costello's. Okay. They are very much still there. Okay. They're very much known for their buffalo tails. That's the thing. Yeah. Okay. Wait, and in case anybody's wondering, it's just it's not a wing, it's a tender. That's all. It's not like buffalo or oxtail or anything, which is delicious, but
so I think
there
next
month
we get
you eating oxtail? You should go to a Jamaican restaurant next and try oxtail.
I can't remember if I have. I feel like I might have tried that at some point in my life.
Really? That just doesn't seem like a thing Kris before 2024 would have had. Been like, an ox? Fuck you.
When we were in Louisiana during the when we were on tour with Chocolat for South by Southwest, I ate some stuff on the road, and I want to say oxtail might have been one of them, but I could be wrong.
Oxtail's fucking good. Cajun food's really good. I'm very happy that you're getting into Asian food. It is such a wonderful fucking cornucopia of flavor. It's so good, and it's so different from the way we eat.
Yeah.
Like American food, you know?
It is a very different situation for sure.
I fucking love it. Love it.
So I'm thinking for our next date night in February, I mean, besides the fact that we're obviously going to go out to see Captain America on Valentine's Day, because, well, why not? But I think for our dinner,
obviously.
I think the goal, I think the place for the dinner is going to be a place nearby called Tony Beef. It's a...
Ooh, I've heard of that. I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah, it's a wacky ass... Devour Power did a thing on it. Yeah, it's right by my house. I've eaten there a couple of times, and they have some wacky ass burgers, and I think that'll be a fun little date night meal.
Yeah, everything I have seen on TikTok from them looks really fucking awesome. I got my uncle, it's marriage, but you know, whatever. My Uncle Harvey, he is Middle Eastern. He's a mix of a couple different things. One of the things is Lebanese, and he got me, when I first got diagnosed with cancer, he, got me a gift certificate to this restaurant, that's near where I live called Liberou, which is a like old school, authentic Lebanese restaurant. And that is like, Tiff and I have been like counting down to like, are your taste buds back yet? Can we go use the fucking, cause he got us like $100 gift card to like go do the fucking thing. And I don't know if you've ever had Lebanese food, but Lebanese food is also fucking incredible. It's so goddamn good. It's so good. And so again, very, very different than what we usually eat. This stuff like baba ganoush and Muhammada, and like there's a lot of lamb and moussaka, which is, there's like a lot of eggplant dishes and stuff like that. Falafel. It's so fucking good. I'm so excited about it.
I can't say I've ever experienced that one either.
You really should. You really should. There's such an incredible, like, that's one of the things that I've really weirdly been obsessed with over the last 6 months, is because my taste buds have been so fucked up. And like, it's so weird the way that they are fucked up. You know, it's like I will eat something, and for the most part, like I can taste it, but it's like I'm tasting a memory of it, which I know sounds really fucking like weird and like philosophical. And I don't mean it in that way at all. I mean it in that way quite literally. Like when we had steak for Christmas dinner, I was tasting what I know steak tastes like, if that makes sense. Like I know what I'm supposed to be tasting, so my brain is trying to fill in this like blank texture that I have here instead. It's just very, very weird, and I hope like nobody ever has to experience it, because it's fucking awful. Because it's not, you know, like when you get a cold and you can't taste anything. You know, like, or COVID and people like lost their taste and whatever. Like you've experienced that before, right?
Yeah.
For like a day or two, you know, it's like, oh, the only thing I can eat is chicken noodle soup because whatever. It is not like that at all. Like I've had COVID, I've had a cold, I've lost my taste from those things for like a day or whatever. It is not the same. It is completely fucking different. And it's just the weirdest thing. So anyway, over the last 6 months, I have been just obsessed with like food, the idea of food, and like what it is and what I would like to go eat, and things that I want to go out and explore more, and all of that. And because everything I've had has been just so bland, you know, and just it's just, I'm so excited to get back out into the world. And like where I live, there's so many little hole in the wall, authentic, like places where, like when I go to a foreign restaurant, like when I go to this Lebanese restaurant, or if I go to an Indian restaurant, I want them to make fun of the way that I pronounce the food. Like that's how authentic I want it to be. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
Like I want to go in there and be like, I don't fucking know it all. Like just give me that what's good, you know, and just try literally everything. Which I think is a good, you know, place to be.
I would agree. Speaking of new things, we are getting another ice cream place right by our house. And there used to be a bank right behind the shop. Right, we are getting a Jersey Cow, which is a local ice cream place. They have one in Northfield, and Karen and I went there, I think, last year, and they have just the most absurd serving sizes of ice cream, and it's really freaking good. So I'm really excited about having that. It increases the local ice cream situation to it's beyond parity at this point. We have within a 5-minute drive of my house, there is a Rita's, a Dairy Queen, and then Lindy Hop's, the local place. And now there's going to be a Jersey Cow as well. So there'll be 4 options for ice cream, like just within 5 minutes of my house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I could get ice cream. I could walk from my house to Jersey Cow, get ice cream, and then walk by the not even be finished with my ice cream, walk over to Rita's and get some water ice, and then walk across the street to Dairy Queen. The only one I would have to really like that's not within walking distance of my house is my favorite one, Lindy Hop's, but they've been around forever. But
I will
Jersey Cow. I don't know, man. That might cut down on my Lindy Hop's excursions. But Lindy Hop's has wacky ass flavors. They have this chocolate orange ice cream that's so good. Oh,
yeah, I'm
man,
into that
so
shit.
Good. Yes,
I'm into that. I love chocolate and orange. I will though. Like I haven't been to a Dairy Queen in a fucking decade. I don't know. There's one, like the closest Dairy Queen to me, I think is like 35 minutes away. And that's too far for Dairy Queen.
It's shit ice cream. The blizzards are good because they got all the candy in them, but the ice cream itself is not great, especially when there's like real ice cream nearby.
Exactly. But I was just going to say, I will, given the opportunity, like if I'm near it, I will fuck up a peanut butter parfait like nobody's business. That was my shit at fucking Dairy Queen. Like blizzards, yeah, sure, okay, I can get that at McDonald's. You know what I mean? The peanut butter parfait is such a uniquely Wendy's fucking thing. Don't give me a dilly bar. Fuck off with a dilly bar. Get out of here. What's wrong with you, Dennis the Menace? You prick. Give me a fucking peanut butter parfait. I do.
I like the weird blizzards that they've been coming out with, like the weird Sunday ones or whatever. I really liked. This is one of the earliest things that happened, like on a date with Karen, that made me realize that she understood me as a person. Is that we were out at the boardwalk, and I was trying to figure out what kind of blizzard I wanted to get. And this was back when they still had Reese's Pieces regularly. Like, did I want a Reese's Pieces? Or did I want a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? And I'm sitting there like trying to go back and forth, and Karen says, "Honey, you can get both." And
just get both.
Oh. She's like, "You're an adult. You can get whatever you want." And I was like, "You're right. I can." And then I did, and it was so good.
You can get whatever you want. It's fine. It's fine. You're allowed. Yeah. Fuck, man. Food is... man. You know what else I'm really excited for? Duck.
What's that?
I haven't had duck in so long. Fuck, I love duck. Oh, my God.
I thought about you I went to Chipotle last week. And I thought about you because, your Chipotle story now just lives rent-free in my head. But I got the brisket, which is really fucking tasty. That brisket they got going on, it's really fucking tasty.
It's weirdly It's weirdly sweet, though.
I was just going to say, it's very sweet. I think that's what I like about it, because it just kind of, because I also really like to get the corn salsa with it, so I always like that kind of piece of sweet in there already. So it's a good time. But I'm watching this kid. He's trying his best to fold this burrito. And he was in over his head.
To pour your drink into your fucking bag? That's just what we do now? He's trying real hard to get it in there. Fucking
when you go to the Chipotle and they drop the ingredients on there, and you're just looking at them like, look, I appreciate how much food you're trying to give me, but I think you're biting off more than you can fold here, there, son. And, we got there, and it was definitely... He was in over his head, and he's trying. He's not willing to go the extra mile for the double tortilla. He's not willing to make that sacrifice. He's going to get this folded into this one burrito. And eventually he did. And I congratulated him. I was like, this was touch and go there. I'm proud of you for getting it done. But I got home, and because of all the futzing around with the burrito he was doing, all the contents kind of moved in the wrong direction. So like my first 3 bites were like, delicious brisket, hooray, this is great. And then there was like nothing but rice for the rest of the burrito. And it's like, well, this is not okay. This is an unacceptable burrito. Sure, it's still tasty, but it's not, this isn't what I signed up for.
I always go the bowl. I don't go the burrito.
Oh, I've always, at Chipotle, I always go burrito. But like the thing is every time I go to Chipotle, I really want to be at Cheeto Burrito, which is it's a local chain, and it's so much better. But it's also like Chipotle's right there. Cheeto Burrito is like a 15-minute drive. Yeah. So I got to go out there, and then I got to be there for like at least 10 minutes, and then it's another 15 minutes back to my house. Like if I'm going there, it's a thing, and it's just not something that I can consistently pull off, which brings me no small amount of sadness, because if I could eat there every fucking day, I would. But Chipotle is a nice enough hold me over when I'm at my house and I just really need a burrito. It is acceptable.
Yeah, at this point, I think we should start a food podcast, Chris. I think. Stone Age Gourmand.
Fat kid podcast. Let's do it.
I mean, it could still be the SAG podcast. Just the Stone Age Gourmand.
I thought you were going to say just saggy asses or saggy guts.
Oh no, I mean that too. Eventually,
the Saggy
if we do
Tits
it right.
Podcast.
Flabby McButter tits. Here we go. I don't know. We could put it on the TikToks, and it'd be a great thing.
Of course.
Go around like all the other jackasses I see on TikTok. Are these the best wings in New Jersey? I don't fucking know. I'm not you.
I didn't eat all the wings in New Jersey. There's no way for me to know the answer to that question. Fuck off.
It's an impossible fucking question to answer.
Voted best pizza in New Jersey. Like, okay, I'm sure it's great, but you didn't eat all the pizza in New Jersey. I can't fucking tee it.
You don't fucking know shit.
So
There's a pizza spot you could walk just outside the front of your house and trip over a dude flipping a fucking pie. What is happening?
Saying
Why
about
are you here?
About the ice cream situation, the pizza situation's just as silly. Like there's a pizza place right next door to where they're putting Jersey Cow, and then like next door to that is a seafood place. Next door to that is a Wawa. Next door to that is a pizza place.
There's another pizza place. I know.
And if you turn around and go the other way, it's another pizza place. And then there's a Domino's right over there, and there's a Pizza Hut right over there.
Yeah. I mean, fuck Pizza Hut. I don't understand how Domino's and business? Papa John's and Pizza Hut exist in New Jersey. Like, when I lived in Texas and Florida, like, okay, I get it. I understand why. Because, like, it tastes the same everywhere. Like,
yeah, no matter where you go.
Pizza Hut is Pizza Hut. But you're in New Jersey, and I got to tell you, I've lived in New York. So have you. Mm-hmm. Jersey pizza's better. Like, fuck off. Yep. It just is.
Hard agree.
It's
my favorite pizza.
New York pizza is great.
Domino's I get, because Domino's is so fucking cheap. It's the cheap version. You can get quantity out of Domino's that you can't get out of the local pizza joint.
Well,
so
sure. I mean, I can get quantity at fucking Little Caesars, but
then that's why it exists. Pizza Hut, though,
but why would you do that to
fucking
yourself?
Wretched. Well, because people hate themselves and they're poor. It's a combination of the two things. Like,
you're not wrong.
I can't afford good pizza, and/or I hate myself. There you go. There's your answers. I hate myself. I'm going to order a bunch of Domino's.
Yeah, I want to shit just forever. I never want to stop shitting.
I got a new toilet seat. I need to break it in. I'm ordering Domino's.
Yeah, I'm ordering Domino's. I was a little kid, like little enough. This is why I hate Domino's. This is a weird fucking start to this podcast. I didn't play any video games, so like this is why we're talking about this. I played Snap. What the fuck? Like that's all I did. I was such a little kid. The first time I remember having Domino's, it is seared into my mind. My dad took me with his girlfriend at the time. It wasn't even who eventually became my stepmom. It was just some chick my dad was fucking. That's a weird way to put it.
Sentence.
Whatever, he's been dead. He's been dead for a really long time. It doesn't matter. We went to the Ice Capades. And it was a Winnie the Pooh Ice Capades at where the Devils used to play when the fucking stadium was next to the Meadowlands, which doesn't exist anymore. Like that arena. And Winnie the Pooh hasn't starred in the Ice Capades. That's the real headline here of the story to tell you how old it was. Like, think about when Winnie the Pooh would have been the headliner of the Ice Capades. And it was fucking great. Tigger was bouncing around like it was just a dude jumping, but like, oh, look, he's fucking bouncing. And there was a fucking hot air balloon that they brought out onto the ice that I lied and told my family when my dad dropped me off that they picked me out of the crowd to put it in. They didn't pick me. They picked some other kid. I told my family they picked me, though, and they were like, no, they didn't. And I was like, no, they really did. My dad was like, no. Dad, you got to back me up here. I don't know why I'm lying about this. Whatever. So when I got home, to my Aunt Sandy's house up in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. It was like a block away from a Quick Check. That doesn't matter. It's true though. We got home. There was Domino's. They were like, "Do you want a piece of pizza?" I was like, "I'm a fat little kid. Of course I want a fucking piece of pizza." What a stupid ass question. And I took a bite, and for some reason, it escapes me why you would do this to a child. Like I was 6, 7, maybe something like that. It looked like a piece of cheese pizza that I was excited to bite into. And when I bit into it, it was cheese and onion pizza. Not pepperoni, not like a white pizza with like garlic and onions and broccoli and shit. Like, no, it was a cheese pizza with just like big honking chunks of fucking like barely cooked onions hiding under the cheese. And I really like onions. I don't think I really liked them when I was 6 years old. And I was so shocked and appalled that was what was presented to me that I just assumed that's what Domino's was and like refused to eat it for like 30 years. And then eventually, like a couple of years ago, Tiff was like, "You want to get Domino's?" I was like, "I really fucking don't. I gotta be honest with you." It's like, and I told her the story and she was like, "Asshole, somebody put the onions on the pizza. They don't come that way." And I was like, "Really? I don't fucking know. I don't eat that shit."
Yeah, somebody ordered that on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. Why, but why would you give that to a little kid? And not like, "Hey, heads up." Also, why would you hide the onions? That's a fucking dirty trick. It's fucked up. Put that shit weird on the top so I could at least question it.
That is a strange pizza. I have a weakness for Domino's. I really do. I find it absolutely fucking delicious. And there was a point in time when Karen and I were living up in North Jersey and we were poor as fuck. And, you know, there was the local pizza place that we would order from time to time. But like more often than not, we're getting that like 3 pizzas for $15 deal. And it's like, this is what we're doing. this is us. We gotta eat.
Tiff loves Papa John's. She loves it.
But she grew up in
Texas.
John's.
So that makes sense. You know,
used to love
she didn't
Papa
grow up
John's.
here.
But again, it's like comparing Elio's pizza to pizza. Like, it's just a totally different situation. Like,
It is. It's awful. It's awful. It makes me sad every time. Like, you want to get pizza? Yeah. What do you want? Papa John's? Fuck you. Come on. That's not what I meant. And you know that's not what I meant. I would have said, do you want to get Papa John's? Which is something I would never say. Oh, breaks my heart. Fuck. Anyway.
also, Papa John's is just a horrible company too, right? It's my understanding that they're
sure
not really they're not one of the good guys, as it were. Not that any of them are particularly good guys, but it's like.
No, I mean, as much as I love Shaq, like you're not getting me there, Papa John's. I know he's not really in charge. You paid him.
You paid him to do those things.
The fuck is wrong with Shaq? Like, dude, you grew up in New Jersey too. Like, you're from Newark. You've had pizza. The fuck's wrong with you, Mr. O'Neill? I'd fucking tell him to his face too. I don't give a shit. Who does he think he is? Yes. Weird start to this episode. Yeah, this is a weird one. Ugh. Anyway, so you should try Lebanese food, I think, is ultimately my point of that entire story. This is where we've landed. You should really give it a shot. Mohammed, it's fucking great. Oh my God, it's so good.
I'll take that under advisement.
It's like red peppers and walnuts and like this weird oil, and it's all blended together. It's fucking delicious.
Anyway, so video games. You said you didn't play anything. Let's see.
No, I just haven't. I've played just a shocking amount of Snap this last week because it's legit the only thing I can do because it takes a finger to like swipe.
Right.
I suppose I could play Vampire Survivors, but then that would make me sad because that's much closer to an actual video game, and it would just make me sad that I can't play the other things I want to play.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah, I get that.
So I stuck on Snap.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did all kinds of stuff. I finished Donkey Kong Land. I've been like,
oh, nice.
Poking around with Donkey Kong Land. I adore that game, and I hadn't played through it in such a long time because I just didn't really want to play it on 3DS. It is really nice to play it on the TV through the Switch. Like that made me really happy to be able to do that, and I 100% completed it, and that was a good time. Finished that last night. So, yay, Donkey Kong Land with a rewind button because holy crap, that game is so difficult because of the screen cramping. Yeah. But it's a really clever little game. Great music too. Good stuff. They just did the update for Nintendo Switch Online last night, and one of the games that they added was Sute Hakun, which I had never heard of before. So I just kind of wrote it off as like, oh, this is probably more of that Jalico junk that they like to stuff on Nintendo Switch Online. But it's not. It's
for
an
some
interesting
fucking reason.
And I didn't realize that in the SAG chat, somebody actually said this before I did, and I didn't realize it until earlier today when I was looking for something. Let's see. It was Anthony in the SAG podcast channel on the Discord actually said what it was before I chimed in a few minutes later, like a half hour later, and said what it was.
Right.
So it's a first party Nintendo game, which is neat, and it was originally released on the Satellaview, and it's tough,
which is cool.
It's a really clever little game. You're this, those little like bird things that like looks like it's drinking the water. Like goes down. You put on a desk and it's like rotating, rocking back and forth, and it looks like it's drinking water. So you're basically one of those things, and you walk around and you can either drink water or you can drink these little like blocks and then replace them somewhere else. And it's like, a puzzle sort of situation where you've got to figure out how to use just that. You can jump X amount of height, and then you've got to move these blocks or fill them with different colored liquids to make them move in different directions in order to get this gem. That's how you beat the level. It's a very simple arcade puzzle platformer type thing. And it's hard. Either that or I'm just really stupid, or some combination of the two, which is entirely possible. But yeah, I got stuck this afternoon when I was playing it. I was on like level 7 or 8, I think, and just flat out stuck. I was looking at the stage every which way that I could think, and I just could not piece together how to actually do what they wanted me to do. Just couldn't figure it out. But it's a neat game, and it's a friggin' Satellaview game. So like, yeah, that fills me with a little bit of hope. They're going to start adding some more weird stuff on Nintendo Switch Online, because they've got a lot left. There's a lot of, especially if they're diving into like the weird shit territory, there's a lot of other stuff they could be jumping into.
Yeah, there really is.
Mario Stadium Excite Bike. You know, they haven't done the BS Zelda. Like, there's stuff they could do, and I'm just it was exciting. I won't say a whole lot about it because, you know, we're going to talk about it later, but I did officially start playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And the only reason the only reason I'm mentioning it here is because I don't get it yet. Like, okay, there's no tutorial, so I just started up story mode, and they're like, "All right, go for it." I'm like, "Go for what?
Do some shit."
I was like, do some shit. Like, okay, so I ran into some barrels, and it was like, "You knocked over 1 out of X number of barrels." Like, okay, I guess I'll keep knocking over barrels. And then I was like, "You got the wings." Like, I asked, what?
Yeah, there's like objectives in every level.
What? Yeah. And so I'm like, but I can't figure out the tricks. I can't figure out what the buttons do. And then, you know, after playing I probably put like a half an hour into it. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Instruction manual. So I picked up the instruction manual, and there's what all the buttons do. I'm like, oh, okay, because I think I figured out grinding. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's triangle.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of fun. And it wasn't really getting a good grip on how to not fall on my face a lot of the times, and I busted through some glass and made it into a whole other part of the level, which was pretty neat. So I'm picking up on it. So my question to you is this, because again, I said I bought the PlayStation 1 version. Yeah, I wanted to experience it in its original form, and it feels really cool to play, no question. I still think it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Does the newer version that I bought on the Switch, does that have a tutorial mode in it?
I do not remember. If I'm being honest, I just don't remember. However,
because if it does, I would really like to give it a try and kind of learn what the game wants me to do, and then go back to the PlayStation 1, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does. You can start with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 on the Switch version and just kind of go from there. I don't remember if it has a tutorial mode or not.
I feel like if, you know, most modern games do. So I want to assume that that's one of the quality of life things they added to it, but because it's not like that comes with an instruction manual. You know, this one, I can open up the booklet and I can see what all the buttons do, and you figure out what the game wants me to do, but that doesn't exist on the digital version for Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean?
I mean, it really, like, there's not much to tutorial. Like, honestly, you hold X to ollie to jump. If you double tap up before you let go of the X button, you will ollie a little bit higher, which you don't always need to do. If you push the D-pad in any of the 8 directions with the square button in combination with it, you will do a flip trick, which will either be a shove it or a kick flip or a heel flip or whatever. You want to do those mostly on the ground, because if you push any direction and circle, you will do a grab trick, which the animation is just a little bit longer. You usually do those like when you're in a half pipe or in like a pool or coming off of a big jump. And then any direction and triangle will do a different type of grind. And then really from there, it's all about just comboing all of that shit together. And there's a couple other things, like there's the revert and the manual and that sort of stuff that you do. And I think there might be a tutorial about that shit in there. But like, really,
you just
it comes
said
down
a whole lot of things, and I don't know what those words mean.
It doesn't matter though. Like that,
anything about skateboarding,
that's the
so
thing.
I don't even know what I'm trying. Like, I have no concept of what I'm even trying to accomplish as far as tricks. So
the big thing with Tony Hawk is building up your combo. So like, if you're going towards an object in the world, right? Let's say it's a rail or a rail. Okay, so you're going to hold down X, and as you let go of X, you're going to hit left in the square quickly, which is going to do a kickflip, and then you're going to push up and triangle when, like, as soon as you let go of X, left in circle, up in triangle, and he's going to kickflip and then land into a grind on the rail, and then as you're holding down triangle, you're going to like kind of take your thumb and hold down X as well, and then you're going to let go when you get to the end of the rail, and you're going to hit right and square, and you're going to do a heel flip, and you're going to land that, and it's going to be like a combo, right? And it becomes second nature as you play it. I know that sounds like a lot, but the trick doesn't matter. Ultimately, like the more you do a kickflip, the less points you get for a kickflip. But just hit a direction and square, and you're going to do a trick that you can safely land when you're not coming out of a half pipe and going like really high in the air, like when you're just on the street. Grab move, the circle button, you're probably going to fall because you don't jump high enough. The animation takes too long. You're not going to land that. Eventually you can, because you build up your stats and all that kind of shit. But really just fuck with it. Like that's the beauty of Tony Hawk, is that you just fuck with it. And at some point it clicks and you're like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm looking forward to, is that point where it clicks, because it didn't quite get there yet, but I did have a really good time with it. So
and the soundtrack is fucking incredible.
Yeah, soundtrack is
soundtrack is so good. Put it like this. You know, there's that switch that flips when you first played Punch-Out, and you were like, "Oh, this isn't a boxing game. This is a puzzle game." Okay, and then you started figuring out like patterns and shit. Tony Hawk is not a skateboarding game. It's a combo game. You know, that's just done through the machinations of skateboarding, but it's all about maximizing a combo. You're not really trying to be like, ooh, I did a kickflip. Like, that's not, you know, whereas like EA, when they did Skate, that was a realistic skateboarding game. Because the shit you do in Tony Hawk, you can't do in real life. Like, you can't come out of a half pipe and do a triple kickflip with a nose grab and a tail grab and then a heel flip and then like land it into a fucking revert or into a manual and fucking pop over to another. Like, you just, it's not possible. Where like Skate, if you did a kickflip into like a nose grind, it was like, oh shit, that's fucking dope. You know, because it was a realistic skateboarding game. That is not what Tony Hawk is. It'll click. Cool. It'll get there. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to putting more time into it. So the bigger one that I wanted to discuss was that I did a terrible job of expressing my feelings about last week. So I did finish Undertale, and I use the word finish very loosely because I'll explain it in a little bit. And I get it. That game sticks the fucking landing.
Yeah.
That was quite an experience. And I no longer think that game is overrated. We were saying before that, you were saying like, yeah, maybe it's good. It's fine. But I was really, really hit by the end of that game, and I think it's big. Yeah, I think it's specifically because of the fact that I was attempting to do the pacifist run,
right?
But it also made me laugh a lot. There was this part.
It is a funny game. Yeah,
there was this secret I found earlier in the game where there was this like music puzzle thing, and I went behind this door, and there was an artifact on a table. I walk over to the artifact and I try to pick it up, and it says, you can't pick it up. You have too many dogs in your inventory. And I'm like, the fuck? So I open up the menu, and there's this new item in my inventory, annoying dog. It's like, what the fuck? So I go to put the dog down, and I get it out of my inventory, and this stupid fucking song starts playing. It's made entirely out of dog barks, and the dog gets out, it absorbs the artifact, and then walks off the side of the screen. It's like, what the fuck was that?
What just happened?
It was cracking my shit up, but there was a point at the end of the game. Like, I know everyone talks about Sans, but Papyrus, 10 out of 10 for me. Like, Sans was fine. Papyrus is my fucking hero. I love that character. There's this, so I do the pacifist thing, right? And I did it successfully. I didn't earn a single experience point throughout the entire game. And I made it to the end. That is
really impressive.
Presumably, Sans would, that this is where you would fight him, right? Because it's my understanding that if you don't do it this way, then you have to fight that character. And that's like kind of where that song Megalovania comes from. And that's kind of why he's...
That's Flowey.
No. Yeah. Anyways, he didn't fight me. He was like, hey, you did a really good job. That's cool. I'm kind of rooting for you. And then I moved on. But like, I can't remember if it was right before that or right after that, but I'm walking towards the finale of the game. And as I'm going, I keep having this just stunningly gorgeous music starts playing. The song's called Undertale. It's this just masterful song. And I keep having these encounters with all the different monsters that I've encountered throughout the game, but they're not attempting to fight me. They're just telling me the story, like the basically elaborating on the sad history of this place where they live and explaining why the king it needs to kill me, because his option is kill you or his people suffer forever. And I haven't figured out what the other option is. I haven't figured out how to get a happy ending, because I got to him. I died 3 times, because every time you die when you're fighting him, the first thing that you have to fight him, but I always talk to him first because that lowers his defense and offense stats. And the first thing you say is you remind him he's killed you 3 times already. It's like, that's neat. But like, man, cool. you get to that fight and he destroys the mercy button. Like, it just kind of, he pulls out his weapon and he stabs down and into your menu and destroys the mercy button. And it's like, fuck. But like, you talk to him beforehand and he's super nice and he's just like, I don't want to do this, but I don't have a choice. And that's that. Yeah. And like, you talk to him X amount of times and the game just tells you, this is it. You have no more options. You have to fight. And it doesn't ruin your pacifist run, because apparently you can't do a perfect pacifist run on your first time playing through the game. And, I get through him, and I get spoilers for anybody who hasn't played Undertale. It's like 20 years old or whatever, but
something like that. Yeah.
I get through fighting him, and the mercy button comes back. You have the opportunity to spare him. And then I obviously did, because I didn't want to kill this guy. But then the little Flowey character from the beginning of the game that, basically teaches you about how the game works, he shows up and murders the king, and then you've got to fight Photoshop Flowey, which is this horrifying, just disgusting thing, just made out of Photoshop images. They're all like these realistic fire explosions and stuff, because it doesn't match the rest of the game at all, which is fucking hilarious, but also really disturbing. But then that whole scene where the monsters that I fought along the way were explaining the story to me to that music was so deeply affecting. And that
it's
the message,
really well done.
That the message of the game is not choosing violence is a lot harder, but way more rewarding. It was just wonderful to me. It hit me on such a level that I was like, I was welling up the whole time that song was playing. Like, fuck, I get it. This is so good. And then, so after you beat Flowey, you have to fight him, obviously, because he's insane and there is no reasoning with him. You beat him, and then you can hit the broken mercy button like over and over again. He's powerless. He can't do anything to hurt you anymore after you've beaten him, and you have the option to kill him. And he keeps telling you, like, you better kill me because I'm going to come back and I'm going to kill you. Like, why are you doing this? And he just eventually confused the fuck out of him. And he says something about like how to go back and maybe save everyone, but he just leaves confused. So I really don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm going back and finishing the things that I had, the things I didn't know that I could do or even weren't really an option for me to do on my first run through, which includes making friends with this boss character that was trying to kill me earlier in the game, which I did the thing. I saved her, and she got confused and walked away because she was very enthusiastic about trying to kill me. And this is where this whole scene with Papyrus and her came into play. And when this thing happened, so you go to her house, and she teaches you how to cook, which ultimately results in burning her house to the ground, which is apparently a good thing because, like, she's a very enthusiastic chef. But she's also training Papyrus how to fight, and Papyrus thinks the two of you should be really good friends. So you get in there, and I don't want to say the joke because I could never do it any justice. But this thing happens where he excuses himself so the two of us can be alone. And I laughed so goddamn hard. I was in tears, and I was laughing for like at least 2 solid minutes of just like, it came so far out of left field. I never in a million years would have seen that coming. And it was so stupid, but it was so fucking perfectly executed. I was cracking my shit up. And John's next to me laughing too, because he's super interested in watching me play it. And he's trying to do a pacifist run now too, because he finished the game on normal, whatever. He didn't do a full-on genocide, but like, he didn't do the genocide run. He did like the neutral run where you just kill most things. And, but that's not how you get the real ending of the game. You have to go through it peacefully. I love the message of this game so much. And that he's doing that now too. Been listening to the soundtrack, and I just fucking wonderful. It was really wonderful gaming experience.
It really is. It's really impressive. And like, I think I kind of fall in the like, it's fine, it's great. But just because I was so fucking sick of hearing about it from my kids, because it was all the memes and all the music, and like, all right, guy, I fucking get it. Undertale's great. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to fucking hear about it ever again.
And that's part of why I didn't play it for so long, because I had this notion of what it was based on all the memes and all the music and Sans and et cetera, et cetera. And I guess that's why the end hit me so hard, because I didn't expect it, and I should have, because I know this game was so directly inspired by Earthbound, and Earthbound pulls a kind of similar thing towards the end. So anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah. But what's so impressive to me about it is that, like, right now, I just looked it up because I wanted to be sure that I wasn't, like, making something up. But Toby Fox, creator of Undertale, is 33. He's a fucking baby.
He's so young. He's making music for Pokemon games.
Yeah, like, he is an important, interesting voice in video games, and it's one of the things that I love so very, very much about this particular medium, is that there exists a space for both Call of Duty, made by 1 billion people with a $1 trillion budget, and Undertale, made by a dude because he liked Earthbound. Like, that's fucking wild, like, and the storytelling possibilities that exist within this medium. And when you see somebody do something like what he's done here. And then as he's continuing work on the sequel for Deltarune, right? The first 2 chapters of Deltarune he released for free. And he released the first one for free because it was like, all right, I'm just going to give you the first one, like a soupçon of this game, and I'm going to make you pay for the rest, you fuckers. And then after like COVID-19 hit everywhere, he released the second chapter for free because everybody was having a hard time. And he was like, all right, here you go, just have it. And he's like now working on the rest of the game. But like, he's a good dude, and he's interesting and creative. And what really impressed me about it was the ability to tell that affecting of a story with ridiculous characters. Just absurd, right? It doesn't, it just goes to show good games are good games. It doesn't have to be photorealistic. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be whatever it is. If it's good, it's good. And Undertale's fucking great. I just got so tired of fucking hearing about it. Like, all right, guys, I get it. Sans is funny. Papyrus is funny. I get it. All right, let's fucking move on to something different. Because then Robbie got into the fucking Homestuck stuff where he got started on that, and I got to hear about all the fucking Homestuck lore too. I'm like, all right, okay, I get it. Holy shit, I love you. My God, I only have so much room up in my head for things, you know?
Yeah, I was. You're talking about the effective story and part of it, and yes, I am getting what you're talking about from John right now. He's showing me YouTube videos where people had written words to some of the songs, and it's like some teenager singing off key into a room mic. Like
I just like this is so just good. Don't fucking care.
It's really not, but.
The line from Dave Chappelle, like one of his last specials, like, here's an idea, maybe considered controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
But I was thinking about how, because it's definitely been on my mind, something that I've been wanting to write for a while. I was just kind of waiting for it to happen, is, kind of looking back on what made this generation of gaming so special to me. Like, I have played so many more games since the Switch came out than I have since I was a kid, and even probably more so, which is crazy to me. Like, right now, gaming on the Switch has been such an alteration for me as far as like how many games I've played and how many kinds of games I've played. It's been a huge life changer. And as this generation comes to a close, it's when I really wanted to look back on the special experiences that I've had. And as far as like using the games medium in particular to be this affecting is not something that I've encountered super often before. Like, when I think about what are the stories that really have affected me, but are video games, like they couldn't have the same effect if they weren't games. Like, leading into this, the 2 examples that come to mind, the ones that have just stopped me in my tracks, were Super Metroid and Portal. Like, I can tell the story of Super Metroid. It's not complicated, but when that gigantic Metroid shows up and stops killing you and makes that noise you heard in the beginning of the game, that meant something because I played through the whole game. I did those things. I was in control when that thing was trying to kill me and stopped at 1 hit point. Like, I was able to run around and like scream for my life. Like, there was the interactive element to it. When in Portal, you're solving all these puzzles and you are being frustrated while this voice is taunting you. It's a very uniquely video game story to tell. Yeah. That's 2 examples throughout like the first giant chunk of my life. Whereas here during this generation, I've experienced Celeste, which again profoundly affected me.
That game fucks with you. Like, it gets in there.
It looks like a little dinky 8-bit inspired indie game platformer, but its story is about depression and
it's so much more.
conquering your own depression. And when you get to the hotel guy, and he eventually, your evil self convinced that you're trying to help him, but your evil self taunts him into losing his shit and trying to kill you, and showing the message that you have to take care of yourself. You can't save everybody. Like, there was so much in that. I played through a fucking panic attack in that game. There's a part of the game where you have to get your character out of a panic attack. That was an amazingly effective game. Sayonara Wild Hearts is another one. That game profoundly affected me as you go through this experience of, like, you're playing these fantastical battle sequences that are all set to rhythm of this really cool ass music, and everything is kind of told like it's telling these action sequences through interpretive dance, which is fucking bizarre. And by the end of it, you don't kill the bosses, because the bosses are you. They're aspects of your personality that you need to make peace with. So instead of delivering the final blows to them, when you fight them the first time, you charge up this giant punch and then knock them out and move on to the next stage. The last time when you have to fight all of them, you charge up, and you go in and give them a little kiss. Because you're making peace with all the aspects of the part of yourself. You're never going to be able to move on if you don't learn to love yourself. It was such an amazing message, delivered so profoundly well in that game, which is why, as much as it's deeply unappealing to me, I will eventually try Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, because that's the same team that made Sayonara Wild Hearts, which blew my fucking mind. And now I have Undertale, another game that on an emotional level affected me, and it did that because I played this game when I saw those monsters at the end telling me their story, basically pleading their case after I went through all the work of figuring out how to spare them, even the ones that attacked me first. Like, you can write that story, but it's never going to have the same effect as a video game would, because you did that. You made those choices. You went through the game and did that yourself. It's an interactive storytelling medium. And when it's done correctly, when it's done right like that, I want to say correctly, when it's done right like that, it can be unbelievable. And there's the vast majority of stories that are told in video games are told in cutscenes. It's like watching a movie that has cool action stuff in between it. But man, when they weave the gameplay itself into it, when that becomes a part of it, and it's something else entirely. When you realize what you're doing in Shadow of the Colossus. In Shadow of the Colossus, that's another one. When you realize what you're doing. Yes. That's another great example. And now I have to push through. I have to fucking push through now. I don't want to, because I just fucking, oh God. Yeah. Like there are things that hit those moments that, you're right, they're only possible in video games. Because you could make a movie of Shadow of the Colossus. And that's it'd be awesome. That's going to be an effective moment if you tell the story right. But it will never, ever be as effective as you pressing the buttons. You are the one who made that character drive the sword into that beautiful Colossus's head. Yeah. Like, you did that. You made that choice to do that. And now you have to live with the consequences of it. Even though it's fiction, you're a part of that. And movies can't do that. Yeah. It's brilliant. It really is. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So Undertale's pretty good. Yeah. So again, eat Lebanese food, I think, is the message that we're going with here. I hate sauerkraut. That's what we're talking about. 100%. Hundo P. Love it. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a very interesting first part of the show. Really was. Hey, you guys came here for video games, huh? Interesting. And then we talked about them. We talked about them hard, goddammit. We did. Psychonauts? Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, that one didn't catch me, but I didn't get far enough. I didn't like the game enough to get far enough into it to get to the point where it was affecting, but... And then Psychonauts 2, which, thank you for the record, by the way. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Welcome. I got the record. It was fucking awesome. Oh, right. I bought a record because we were able to get these through work now. one of our distributors started carrying some of the vinyl, and I got the Vampire Survivor soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Like, I'm not...
That's outstanding.
It's great. It's one of those things that I'm not going to listen to a whole lot. I think it's definitely going to go into my rotation during Halloween, like during October, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But
for sure.
That game's not available physically. There's not a lot of merchandise for it, and I've given them so little money for so much content.
I was like, much.
I will absolutely buy your vinyl record, sir, especially since I get a discount because it's through work. Like, I will make that happen. It's a really good-looking record. It sounds great. What's that?
Do I get a discount?
I don't know. We'll talk about that during the break.
Okay. All right.
I can't answer that question.
I know I don't technically work for them, but, you know. Sorry. Anyway, yeah.
But yes, that was pretty cool. So I'm glad you like the record. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, we're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what's new at Stone Age Gamer and discuss some things in week-old news. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around. And now here's a quick look at what's new from us and our partners at geekade.com.
First up, shrinking. It's a thing that happens to us all. You know, go in the pool, we stand outside in the winter, heck, just getting older. If it isn't sagging, I might be shrinking. But do you know what else shrinking is? It is a wonderful TV show where I didn't even give you a chance to answer. I'm sorry. It's like a weird joke where I tell you the punchline. Anyway, it's a wonderful TV show where Jason Segel is a therapist and Harrison Ford is a grumpy old man. It was also Evan's pick for this week's episode this month, and his co-hosts watched it for his amusement. How did they like it? What's up with Call the Midwife? That's the one. Is Trigun still good? Why is Shorzy so goddamn good? Learn the answers to these burning questions in this week's episode 284, Gym Suspenders.
Next, with Greg unavailable to record this month, Joe went rogue and did an episode all by himself. Well, he was actually joined by his friend Devin. So he wasn't all by himself at all, but it was an unusual episode nonetheless. What the heck did Joe and Devin talk about? Why, a Japanese game I've never heard of, and I'm willing to bet that the majority of you fine folks haven't heard of it either. So if you want to listen to a couple of guys talk about a Super Nintendo game that you've never heard of before, be sure to tune into the SNES Podcast special episode, GS Mikami Joreishi wa Nice Body.
Thank you. I agree. Same with you. And also with you, sir. Finally, paint. It's a thing that happens to us all. Go in the pool. We stand outside in the winter. Heck, just getting older. If it isn't sagging, it might just be paint. But do you know what else paint is?
Yes.
I gave you time to answer. Okay, good. It's a weird-ass movie where Owen Wilson plays a legally distinct version of Bob Ross and burns down a barn or something. So if you like trips into the wonderfully weird and listening to Paul and Sean talk about how to teach a college course on movie monsters, don't miss A Theater Near You, episode 48, Paint.
That was a weird movie, and I enjoyed it. Anyway.
I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it.
It's a weird movie, and I enjoyed it. For all this and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on geekade.com. Hi, everybody. We're back. It is time to talk about what is new at Stone Age Gamer, and we've got a couple of things, as I mentioned before. Records. We have a handful of vinyl records available with some cool video game soundtracks available on our site right now, which is lovely. We also got a pretty decent plush restock, including a handful of new plush that we hadn't had before, like the Pokey from Super Mario Brothers, the big cactus things.
That's cool. Love that.
I really want one. They're so stupid looking. It's like 14 inches tall.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm so into it. And we also got the new Evercade Alpha, which is these like tabletop arcade machine things that also play Evercade cartridges. They're pretty neat.
That's very cool. Yeah.
With two different flavored ones. One's got Street Fighter stuff built in, and one's got Mega Man, Final Fight, and whatnot built in. It was pretty neat.
Very cool.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. So that brings us to my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. And first up, we have a story that I absolutely love. Push Square reports Vampire Survivor's lack of a plot, a tricky prospect for film adaptation, says Dev.
Yep. I would imagine it would be. Damn it.
I'm trying to find the exact quote because it's really lovely.
I mean, while you're looking for that, do we need a Vampire Survivors live action movie?
We absolutely don't, which is kind of what makes this so fun. All right, here it is. All right, so this actually comes from IGN. The Push Square was just kind of re-reporting the IGN report. Vampire Survivors developer, I think it's pronounced Punkle, whatever, but I have no idea how to say that, has outlined the difficulties behind its adaptation, which was originally announced as an animated series, but now appears to be a film headlined by the fact, quote, the game has no plot. Punkle said it is still working with Story Kitchen on a live-action film in a Steam post, despite the adaptation being announced as an animated series in 2023. Regardless, Punkle has now acknowledged just how difficult it will be to get a film right, especially as Vampire Survivors is a mechanically simple action game about defeating hordes of enemies. The quote is, as mentioned last year, rather than jumping the gun and make stuff for the sake of making it, we have preferred to wait to find partners that felt right. Especially because to make anything that isn't a video game out of Vampire Survivors requires good ideas, creativity, and that quirky knowledge of the game. That is a very difficult triplet to get 100% right. Please remember, the game has no plot. It doesn't. So nobody can really anticipate how a film about it is going to be. That's part of what makes it exciting. So,
yeah, I mean, if anybody could make a film out of Vampire Survivors, it would be the Vampire Survivors people.
They know exactly how absurd the concept of making a movie out of it is, and are embracing that. So yeah, you have my full support.
Yeah.
The game has no plot. It's fucking stupid. I love it.
Let's see what you come up with. I'll go see it.
Me too. So much that company has given me for so very little.
For so very little.
Anyway,
I went to see the Monster Hunter movie, so yeah, I'll go see this too.
God, I saw that movie too. That was not good.
That's not a great movie. Not a terrible movie.
It could have been worse. Like, I don't remember sitting through and being like, wow. Although there were moments where I thought to myself, like, why would you do it this way? But whatever.
Yeah.
It was another one of those experiences, if I remember correctly, it was another one of those movies where the studio had absolutely zero faith in the property they spent money to get, so they did a whole well, what if somebody from the real world went into the game world? We got to ground this in reality. No, it's not. Fuck you.
It's not what I wanted. But thank you, I guess.
Time Extension reports Street Fighter's critically panned animated TV series is getting a Blu-ray release. Darkstalkers is too. Fantastic.
So bad.
I love the packaging for this. Looks phenomenal. Looks like a Super Nintendo box. Oh. It's, let's see, will feature all 26 episodes in English with closed captions, with a bunch of additional extras also being included. These consist of various game-inspired menus, a meme compilation video, an art gallery, and an option to view the intro in storyboard mode, as well as new commentary tracks hosted by the YouTuber Matt McMuscles.
That's great. They 100% know what they are selling.
I didn't realize Matt McMuscles was doing the commentary tracks. That's wonderful. Yeah. The commentary tracks will feature guest appearances from the likes of discotheque producer Brady Hartle, as well as others including Justin Wong, Maximilian Dude, Guilewin Quote, Aaron, Ego Raptor Hansen, Lythro, and Alex Lee. I fucking love Matt McMuscle stuff. Like, I would love to have that guy on the show sometime. I don't think he would do it, but I think he's too big for our britches. But I swear to God, I would just sit back and not understand the two of you talking about wrestling for a while.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Enjoy
That's a good idea.
Every minute of it. I would love to have him on the show. That sounds like a hoot. But that's great. I might need to pick that Street Fighter one just for the Matt McMuscles commentary. That sounds like a hoot. God, that show's awesome. Bad. That's marvelous.
It's real bad. It's
but
really,
this is how you
really
do something
bad.
like that. It's bad, but it's a part of history, right? Like, lean into it. This is the thing that happened. Don't let it disappear into the nothingness for all time. It's a part of video game history, so let's lean into it and make it special. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this one very long. I just really wanted to mention it because anything that involves humiliating this fuckwit is good by me. Destructoid reports Elon Musk admits he uses people to boost his account, is not the best Diablo 4 nor PoE 2 player in the world. Because of course he's a fucking cheater. So
of course he is.
Fuck off into a fire.
Yeah, dude's a real piece of shit.
Really is. He's an
real
absolute
piece of shit.
Piece of garbo.
Yep.
I guess to continue on the piece of garbo news, I don't actually have a written story for this, but this has been there's been quite the conversation in our Discord about it. So the Real Game Awards, we've talked about a handful of times, that happened, and apparently it didn't exactly go off without a hitch. The Angry Video Game Nerd did a presentation, there's a lot of folks out there kind of sort of defending him, like, he was just reading a script for some money. It's like, okay, but...
I get that, but when your money comes from those people, like, you could have just said no.
Yeah, you could have just said no. You could have looked into it a tiny... Like, he got up there and presented the shitty-ass Game of the Year awards, and they gave that award to a game that I guarantee is not the worst game that was made this last year.
100%.
But all four of the games were chosen because of, the cardinal sin of featuring gay people or being made by gay people, and
God
that's
forbid.
simply not acceptable. That's woke garbage and deserves to die. So yeah, that's a big disappointment because I rather like James's old stuff. I'm confused about it a little bit. I mean, I know he doesn't have like a spotless track record of anything, but you know what? If you're gonna be quiet, if you're gonna have shitty opinions, at least be quiet about it, which seems to be what he's done a good job of being. Like, but I know he's in a band with Square Painter. Square Painter's got zero tolerance for any of that stuff. So,
yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
I'm confused. I clearly don't know everything. But I know that if you've willingly associated yourself with the Real Game Awards, that has an entire category dedicated to being mean to the people that Gamergaters have been stalking and harassing for a year.
That's not fucking cool.
It's just not cool. It's not okay.
That's just not okay. Like, it's really easy to just not do that.
Yeah.
Like, it takes actual effort to do it. Like, to not do it, you don't have to do anything. You just don't do it.
They also had some, like, limited run games put out a statement, because apparently it says, we are aware that our name and logo were used as part of this broadcast. We were not asked to participate, nor did we give permission for our name or logo to be used in such a manner, nor were we given advanced warning. I don't know what that means. Like, did they...
Yeah.
I hope they didn't imply that they were a sponsor. I don't think they would do that, because they're not stupid enough to know that that's... Just because they're not stupid enough to know that isn't going to come back to bite them. Also, a lot of their crowd hates limited run too, because it's fun to hate on everyone. But there was this other game called Salico that was promoted at some point during there, and people were messaging them like, from Blue Sky, oh no, Salico, why are you being given a shout out by this shitty anti-LGBTQ Game Awards show? And they respond, we have nothing to do with this. Up until just an hour ago, we didn't even know about this show's existence. So clearly the show just went in and just started promoting whatever the heck they wanted, like it was some sort of big official thing. Like, the Game Awards are dumb, but like, everything that they're doing, they have permission to do. Like, they're not just rebroadcasting whatever commercials they think are cool. This was really poorly thought out on all fronts. So, God damn it. I love this section we're doing right now. Week Old News was directly inspired by Hard News from the Side Scrollers podcast, which I used to love.
Just
Stuttering Craig, man, you let me down.
Yeah, it's just fucking disappointing, man. It's just fucking disappointing. Just really? The idea that, like, it just doesn't affect your life. Like, you just really sitting around going, fucking gays. Fuck. They exist. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This doesn't harm you in any way. Stop.
Like, in literally any way. It doesn't fucking matter.
Just let people live. Who cares if you like what they're doing?
God.
Just fucking move on.
It would be no different than sitting here and being like, fucking string beans.
So mad that they exist.
They're just there. I gotta go to the store and they're just fucking, they're all waxy, putting it in my face. Like, oh, buy me, I'm on sale. Fuck you. Not buying string beans. Like, what the fuck? Just, oh my God.
While we're yelling at people to pull their finger out of their ass, I would like to personally yell at the Flyers to please get your fingers out of your ass. At the end of the second, you're down 3-1 to the Islanders. You lost 6-1 to the fucking Rangers.
Yeah.
Get it together, boys.
Yeah, I mean...
Get your shit together. Moving on.
Anyway,
Push Square reports, concern proposed tariffs could accelerate downturn in physical PS5 games and potentially push prices higher. Because, as pretty much everybody with a brain saw coming from 9 trillion miles away, everything is going to get worse. The dipshit in charge of our country has placed giant tariffs on Mexico, which is one of the only places that manufactures Blu-ray discs, which means physical games for Xbox and PlayStation are not looking so hot. Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky posts, alright, well, video games. With 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico on the way, I can see a sharp downtick in the number of disc-based games that get released physically in the US, as much of that production infrastructure is in Mexico. If they do get made, I expect higher prices both physically and digitally.
I mean, it should not be higher digitally. That is just like, fuck you. Stop doing that shit. I get it, but fuck you. Stop it. But
yeah, no, man, they're gonna absolutely use that as an excuse to be like, well, we've got to maintain parity with our physical releases. No, you fucking don't.
Obviously.
Digital games are supposed to be cheaper.
You don't. They should be. It's just like they're the fucked up shit here is like, you and I are not sitting here being like, buy American, fuck. Like, we would love to. I would love to, right? I was doing some looking around. I watch a lot of dumb shit on YouTube, especially while I've just been, sitting for the last 6 months. And I saw a dude who he was like, buy it for life. Like, these are the best fucking, shirts you can buy, the best boots you can buy, the best whatever. And he had a thing on flannel shirts. And I was like, I fucking wear flannel shirts all the time. I would love to buy some, like, let's see what you got, right? Let's see what you got. So, okay. So I start looking at what this fucking dude is talking about as far as a flannel shirt is concerned. And one of the companies that he talked about was Vermont Flannel. Okay? The Vermont Flannel Company. Okay? Now, if you were going to go buy a flannel shirt, Kris, how much money would you spend on a long sleeve button-down flannel shirt?
I mean, I know they're more expensive than I want to spend on it, so I'd probably say going to cost me around like $30, $35 at least.
that would be lovely, right? The Vermont Flannel Company is one of the cheaper options that he promoted, and they are $88 a piece.
For fuck's sake.
For a fucking shirt. And that's one of the cheaper ones. Like, there are companies out there. One of the other ones he talked about was this company called Musk Ox. Okay. Musk Ox flannels, US owned, US operated, blah, 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 whatever. I'm on the website right now. I can go on. It was a very lovely shirt right here. Just a red and a very autumnal flannel shirt here. $154 for one shirt. Like, shit's expensive to make here. And if you're going to make shit more expensive to get here, like, people are fucking broke, man. Like, where is this coming from? I just, if only there was a warning that this wasn't going to go well. If only there was a warning.
Oh, there he is.
But who could have seen this coming? Who could have seen this coming, Chris?
Are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
Okay. I was talking the whole time, so through the magic of editing, that will seem flawless.
I think whatever you had to say was extremely interesting.
Yes, 100%. $154 for a fucking shirt is absurd.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway. Moving on.
All right, back in. Let's see. This one's just fun to say. Not that I want anybody to lose any jobs, but Nintendo Life reports EA's share price plummets after reports of disappointing financial performance.
Shocking.
Yep. There seems to be this, like, clear connection between the most shitty pieces of the AAA video game industry just continuing to get shittier and shittier and shittier, and then, profits are starting to fall as they keep signing on to more shitty things, and, like...
Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk? At some point...
Again, just like the tariff thing, if only somebody would have said something...
If you just focused on making great games, make the best video games that you can, and you'll make money. You won't make all of the money, which is where the problem lies, because they all want to make... enough money is not a thing that exists. It's gotta be all of it. Which makes me sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck Electronic Arts. They can kiss my booty.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Got 2 stories left, and they're both kind of fun. So we're going to do this one first, and then we'll end on what's just generally considered good news as far as I'm concerned. So IGN ports Xbox Developer Direct 2025, everything announced. I didn't watch the entire presentation.
I didn't either.
But I did watch the highlights, and the big one for me, Ninja Gaiden 4, announced from Team Ninja and Platinum Games.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. That looks pretty cool.
That makes me very happy. I didn't play through Ninja Gaiden 3 because I heard it wasn't very good. When I got it in the collection, I just hadn't had the time, and I felt that certain aspects of those games really did not age very well. They're fun to play, but they're not super great to look at just because of the... I don't know. They have some very interesting design choices, but I'd like to go back and spend a little bit more time with them since I have the option. But their Ninja Gaiden 4 is looking good. I don't think Platinum Games has ever been involved in one of these before, right?
I don't think so.
I think they've always just been Team Ninja, but like, boy, oh boy, you want to apply the Bayonetta logic to Ninja Gaiden? Yes. Yeah. Please and thank you. Yes. Yeah. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, Shadow Drop. Cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty neat.
Doom Dark Ages comes out in May 2025. Cool.
That game looks insane.
It does. It looks nuts.
It looks like an insane thing is just happening at all times.
I still haven't played Doom Eternal yet. which I should really get around to doing at some point. But I like Doom, and this looks like a very interesting experience right here.
You've never mentioned Doom. Never talked about it.
Doesn't come up.
No.
So that's cool. South of Midnight, I know this one you're looking forward to. Gets an April 25 release date.
I got to tell you, man, I do not own an Xbox Series whatever, X or S. I have to fucking play this game. I have to play this game, Chris. The Steam Deck, I don't think will be able to handle it. I don't know if anybody's listening. If you have a Series X or S that you're not using that you would like to send me for a little bit, like I'll buy the game and I'll send it back to you. Like I have to fucking play this game. I am so beyond excited for this fucking game. Like it is just everything that I could possibly want. I watched the like all the trailer thing that they released and the deep dive like with the studio that they did. I am so fucking excited for this game. Like to me, this game, if the combat is okay, like if it's just okay, this looks like a game of the year to me. Just because of the world and the way it looks and the way it moves and the acting and all of that. Like, this is just speaking to me on so many fucking levels. Like, I legit, Tiff and I were watching it together and I was like, I mean, I have to get a fucking Xbox. I have to get one because I have to play this game. And nothing has been said about a PlayStation release. I think it would be weird if this didn't come to PlayStation, considering the other things that are. And like Indiana Jones is coming later, like all of that kind of thing. But fuck, man, this game, I don't know. It just hits me.
It's you've mentioned it, and it definitely looks up your alley. And I hope you find a way to play it. I really do. Where'd my script go? There you are. Why did I close that page? What the fuck's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Open back up. All right, so where were we? Claire Obscure Expedition 33 will bring RPG goodness to Xbox players in April 2025.
That also looked cool.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, it was just those 4. Well, and I guess Black makes it 5, but yeah. No, it was good. It was pretty. That's solid. All it needed to be. Yeah, there's some cool games coming out.
Ninja Gaiden's hitting the PlayStation as well. I can't shake the feeling that later this year we're going to find out a lot of Switch 2 announcements, but I want to say that Nintendo's probably not itching to let people announce a whole lot of stuff until they do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They want to announce their games. They don't want to be like, oh yeah, there's like 35 third-party games coming to the system, and by the way, here's ours too. Like, I feel like they want to be the first ones out of the gate. But we'll see.
Which makes total sense. Yeah.
It does. I'm more interested in the other Ninja Gaiden game, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
4 still looks cool as shit. I'm all about it. Time Extension reports, the long-awaited Video Game History Foundation digital library launches this month. I'm so excited.
That's exciting. Yeah, that's exciting.
This is just scans upon scans upon scans of... this is going to be so huge for me doing research. I wish this was out a couple of months ago when I was doing the older Mario history videos.
Yeah.
Because now I'm in the territory where a lot of the stuff was not reported in magazines. It was reported on websites. So, that's a thing. But I can search old magazines by keyword. I can find out with certainty which was the first magazine that had the word Mario 3 appear in it or something. You know what I mean? I'm doing my research by literally flipping through the magazines that I have on my shelf. I could have missed something. And it's a combination of that and my own memory. But this is such a wonderful tool. I'm so excited for this to exist. It goes live on January 30th. It will be free to browse, but you can support the amazing work being done here via Patreon. That's marvelous. I love the Video Game History Foundation. Do your thing.
It legitimizes the industry in a way that it hasn't been up to this point.
Yeah, having a digital library of all these magazines is just so wonderful. It's going to be such a huge help for my research. I'm so excited. But that's it. That wraps up week-old news. That's all we got. So we're going to take ourselves another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do our 2025 year in preview. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
Capcom, Philip Summers, and NF Publishing present Hand-Drawn Game Guides Mega Man, an officially licensed strategy guide for the original Mega Man game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This massive book is filled with lovingly illustrated pages, diving deep into the world of Mega Man and strategies to defeat the original 6 robot masters before taking on the evil genius behind it all, Dr. Wily. All new mission briefing pages flesh out the story, and beautifully rendered maps plant the reader firmly in the Mega Man world. Transport yourself to a place between fantasy and reality, past and present, physical and digital. Back Hand-Drawn Game Guides Mega Man today.
Kickstarter campaign ends February 14th, 2025. Back your copy today.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least 2 of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
Do you enjoy the Stone Age Gamer podcast and other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network? Do you wish you could listen to them sooner than the regular unwashed masses? Do you wish you could contribute in some way? Well, then you should check out the Geekade Patreon. Yes, the Geekade Patreon is a wonderful and very much appreciated way for you to help us pay the bills and keep our shows running week after week. As a Geekade patron, you'll get a monthly podcast topic schedule and early access to nearly every show on the Geekade Podcast Network, as well as access to a patron-exclusive monthly show called DC's Amazing Movie Time from the creators of the Weekend Rental podcast. So head on over to patreon.com/Geekade and become a loved and appreciated member of the Geekade Patreon team and get early access to shows like the Stone Age Gamer podcast, this week's episode, Turning Tracks, and a whole lot more. See you there. All right, everybody, we're back, and we do this every year. It's always a fun experience to sit back and look forward. What is coming? What's happening in 2025 that we are excited about? I know I have a relatively short list, but I've got a pretty good reason for that. I don't know what Dan's got cooking. Yeah. So why don't you kick us off? Why don't you go first, sir? What is the first game that you're looking forward to 2025?
The first thing that I'm interested to see what this Virtua Fighter 5 Revo on the PC is going to end up being. Because I love me some Virtua Fighter, and if I could have portable Virtua Fighter, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of into that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's really it. It's not a ton of money. Like I'm looking at it on Steam right now. It is $16 on sale. It'll be $20 like when it's officially out. So if it works, I'm in. You know,
okay.
not until my hand works, but but I will be in at some point.
Word.
Yeah, that's all I got for January. Nothing else really jumped out and grabbed me.
Oh, I don't have mine in order of month, mostly because I don't think I have anything that has a solid release date, actually. I might be wrong, but I don't think I have a single thing on here with the solid release date. Am I crazy? Oh, boy. I think there's one. Nope, that just says spring. Yeah, no, I don't have anything. I don't think I have a single thing with an actual release date on it. So I'll get.
I have a couple that have release dates.
Does this one have a release date? 2025. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I got nothing. So I guess I'll say the first one that that comes to mind that's coming out in the spring apparently, and that is the new DLC for Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker. I am all about an excuse to play more of that game. I'll jump in for a new game plus or something. I loved Sea of Stars, and I think this is just a long enough time for me to come back to it and have some new content. And I haven't played any of it since the big updates that have changed refined things a whole lot. So pretty excited about that. That's
such a good game.
Yeah,
such a good game.
Was my game of the year over Tears of the Kingdom,
which is huge.
Just a magnificent game. Yeah. Can't wait to play it again, and more of it.
All right, yeah, I'm with you. The next thing that I got comes out March 6th. I got nothing in February, but March 6th is the current release date for that Split Fiction game that we talked about when we did the Game Awards thing. That just looks so cool.
That looks pretty neat. Yeah,
and I'm itching for a good couch co-op game. Something I can play with the kids or play with Tiff or whatever. And that just looks really, really cool. Really interested in that.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I can get behind that. I kind of forgot about that one. I don't know that it's something that I'm going to land on to really play, but yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
good choice. Why is this thing not? Sorry, I'm doing something in the background, and it's not cooperating with me, and it's making me angry. So heck with it. Next up on my list, we mentioned it very briefly earlier in the show. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Yes.
This is a new 2D Ninja Gaiden game from the people who made Blasphemous. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Sold.
Absolutely.
Sold.
Abso-freaking-lutely. No question in my mind. That is a top quality situation right there that I am all about. And I mean, I'll just lump it in here too, Ninja Gaiden 4 as well, because of course I'm looking forward to that. Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
We just talked about it. So it's not really a new thing worth spending another category on, but
that's fair.
Good stuff.
Yeah, no, that looks really, really fucking good. I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited. Also on March 6th, definitely not something, man, I just don't know when I will have the time for it, but I am so excited that it exists, that it is coming out, and that is the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remasters. I fucking love those two games. Really, really love those games and would love to play through them again. I don't know when I would have the time, because they are beefy games, but just so good. So good. And the remasters they just look really good.
Yeah, I would also say, just I guess on a similar stint, I didn't really put it on my list because I don't think I'll actually play it, but I'm very happy that Lunar is getting the similar treatment.
Yeah.
Not really,
that looks
not
really
really my
cool.
jam. I've never been able to get into them, but I know they're really important games, and I think it's great that they're getting the world treatment again. It's nice to see them out in the world.
I agree. 100%.
Well, my next game is not a surprise at all. That would be Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Mm-hmm. I've already played Metroid Prime Bed and Bath, so I'm looking forward to...
Shut up. There's your episode title. Found it.
Metroid Bed and Bath.
That's right. Metroid Prime 4 Bed and Bath. Yeah, no, obviously. I mean, the pressure on that game, I feel, is immense.
Yeah, it's got a lot to live up to, but I have confidence. It looks great.
I don't know if I do.
I'm very curious what it's... I really liked what I saw. I'm very curious if it's going to be enhanced on Switch 2 in some way, shape, or form. Like,
you would have to imagine it would, right?
I have a lot of questions, and I can't wait for the answers. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to.
You're going to have to wait until April for the answers, I believe.
Theoretically. There's a lot of rumors floating around. We're still going to get a February Direct, but just based on regular Switch stuff. So, right. I don't know, we'll see. Not a whole lot going on in the regular Switch right now. They released Donkey Kong, and they've got Xenoblade Chronicles X. But like when you go to Nintendo's site of upcoming games...
Yeah, it's bleak.
I think there's only 4 games on there.
Yeah, it's bleak.
There is tons of upcoming games on the eShop because there's just schlock everywhere. But Nintendo's release schedule is 2020 January Donkey Kong, March Xenoblade Chronicles, TBD Metroid Prime 4, and Pokemon Legends ZA. They have 4 games on their slate right now. They've got a ton more than that, but we don't know what they are. Right? I mean, I'm sure they do, at least for Switch 2, but we don't know what they are. We know nothing. Yeah. They're up to all kinds of nonsense. I'm excited.
They better be. They fucking better be. Well, also in April, South of Midnight, we just talked about it. I'm a little bit excited for it. I don't know if you can tell.
Vaguely, yeah.
At the end of the month, on April 24th, is the returning after 26 long years, Chris, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. And I like me some Fatal Fury. And this looks really cool. Art style looks really cool. I mean, it's Fatal Fury, you know?
It does look pretty cool. I'm with you there.
I'm into it. I'm digging it.
I played a little bit
picking up what
of
they're putting down.
Was it Fatal Fury 2 that was part of NSO's update? I played a little bit of that. And just this afternoon. It was fun.
Yeah, I am a fan of the Fatal Fury games.
Word.
I
guess sticking in a similar situation, Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Yeah, for sure.
That's got the Capcom vs. SNK games. It's got fucking Power Stone. Like, what the fuck? Yes.
Yeah, Power Stone? Like that, you could have just done Power Stone.
You could have.
Like, and I was buying it. Yeah, like 100%. Those games are fucking all. Man, how is there not new? Anyway.
Yeah. That's a wonderful collection. Following the Marvel vs. Capcom one, I've given some thought to buying the first collection physically just to have all 3 of them. But there's like not a lot on that first collection that I really need to have. Like the first Capcom Fighting Collection is solid, but it's not a lot of stuff that I'm actually gonna play.
Yeah.
Like, Capcom fighting, I mean, that's a little harsh. Because it does... Oh, wait, I do have this. I don't have it physically. That's my problem. I bought this, but I didn't buy it physically.
Right.
This has all the Darkstalkers games on it, which is great. This also has Hyper Street Fighter 2, which is fucking great. And it has Gem Fighter, which is fun for about 15 minutes, and Puzzle Fighter, which is phenomenal, but available in all sorts of other places. The trouble was that I had already bought it digitally, and I was like, well, do I really need to have this one physically? I don't know.
Yeah. This one, though, the Fighting Collection 2, so you've got Capcom versus SNK, Capcom versus SNK 2, which is such a good game. Such a good game. Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone, Power Stone 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bilstein. Which I like Plasma Sword quite a bit, too. That is a cool-ass game. I'm a fan
Plasma Sword
of
is
that.
neat. The first rival school's missing, and the first Plasma Swordish thing missing is kind of weird.
It is a little weird. It is.
That first Fighting Collection is already out of print too. Those are already gone. They did a reprint of those, and it's like, I should have picked it up when I had the chance, because now I'm going to have the other one sitting on my shelf and not this one, and that's just going to annoy
be pissed.
me. And I'm just going to be pissed about it. It's only $30. What the hell's wrong with me?
I don't know. You're not made of money?
It's true. I'm not made of money.
Made of chocolate and dreams. Anyway.
It's in stock on Amazon for $45.
That's not a terrible price for it.
Actually, it's down to $36.12.
$36.12, which is $48.
Uh-oh, losing touch with reality.
All right, I'll speed it up. October, Double Dragon Revive. October 23rd.
Really? You're looking forward to that one? I think that looks like garbage.
I think it does too, but it's Double Dragon, so I'm interested.
I'm interested, but I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested.
I was looking. I looked square at that one and said, "I don't think so, Tim." Fucking
maybe it'll surprise us.
Bad times.
I know.
Yeah, maybe it will.
Yeah.
Maybe it will.
Maybe that's what I'm hoping for. That's the last one I have with an actual release date, though. The rest of these are just this year.
Wow, I only have one more actual game and then 3 nebulous things. My last game, I'm sure, is on your list is Shadow Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
This is fucked up horror Pac-Man? Sure.
Yep. 100%. Send it right over.
I'll take it.
Big fan. I don't even care if it sucks. I'm going to buy it because I want to support the fucking nonsense that it is.
I don't think it is going to suck, but in case it does,
I think it's going to be great.
I still don't care. It really does look good. I think it looks solid.
All right.
That's it. I don't have anything else to say about it, so.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I am still looking forward to Baby Steps, that weird walking simulator.
Right.
It's coming out at some point this year.
I'm sure it is. I believe you.
I mean, it looks fun. I mean, there's a couple like big hitters here that I'm really excited about. Like, because this is where we start to get into the, all right. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, that's coming to PS5 in the spring.
I almost put that on my list, but I don't have a new system on the horizon for me that's going to play it, unless it's coming to Switch too. But I have no plans to buy a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. It's just not in the budget. But I'd really like to play it. I wasn't interested at all, and then that came out and the reviews were really positive and the voice acting is really good, and it's looking a little bit more like something I really want to try. So I know. I wasn't excited about it either, but like it. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I'm in.
This Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is the Captain America Black Panther joint.
Whoa. Wasn't that released? Wasn't it announced a long time ago?
A little while
or am I
ago.
imagining things?
This is the Skydance New Media is the company that's making it, and the reason that we care about that is because it is Amy Hennig's new studio, and we care about Amy Hennig because
Amy Hennig. I want to say something about God of War, or am I confusing her with somebody else? No,
you are
Naughty
confusing
Dog.
her with some
Naughty
There
Dog.
you go.
There it is.
And Uncharted, and before that, she was the writer and director of Soul Reaver and Legacy of Kain.
Right.
I mean, she's a girl, so it's going to suck, obviously. But I'm interested. I'm interested, plus it is going to be a game where I get to be Captain America and Black Panther and punch Nazis.
What was it called again?
Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. It's a terrible title.
It really is.
Rise of Hydra was fine. Captain America Rise of Hydra, like, there are much better. Marvel 1940, not a good title. But, yeah. I'm into that. Let's see, what else do we have here?
2021. That's when they started talking about this game.
Yeah.
It was officially the specifics were teased in 2022. So we're in a third year since it's been announced. I knew it's been a good long while since that was
It's been a while.
Talked about.
It's been a while. The House of the Dead 2 remake. I mean, I'm interested.
I love House of the Dead 2.
I don't know that I would go so far as to say excited, but I'm interested.
House of the Dead. So these are being done. Well, what was the first one was? Yeah, this is Forever Entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
The first one was fine. The Panzer Dragoon remake was fine. And this is the company that did the Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which is fine.
Which is fine. Yeah. I'm interested.
I love House of the Dead 2.
It's great.
I freaking love that game. I want a remake of that to be fantastic, but the lack of proper light guns is a problem.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I don't know. Like, are they gonna? Part of me doesn't really want that game to be remade super well. Like, just clean it up and put it exactly as it is. I want the goofy ass looking characters. I want that terrible voice acting. That game is a masterpiece, man.
It is. You're not wrong.
Forever Entertainment confuses me. They've just got to be out there doing this shit for way cheaper than anybody else is willing to.
Because that's what it seems to be.
I don't see what these companies see in Forever Entertainment's output. Like, it's fine, but we should be striving for better than fine on some of these things. If you're going to be remaking this stuff, like these legendary titles, I want it to be more than fine.
Yeah, me too. Cautiously interested. Let's go with that.
Fair enough.
That's a ringing endorsement. The one that I am... Oh, God. Do I want this game to be good? So, we talked about it... I forget when we mentioned it last year, but it is coming... theoretically, at some point, for everything, PC, PS4, 5, Switch, SX, blah, 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 whatever, and that is Mouse PI for Hire. That is the first-person
like the
shooter,
Mickey Mouse looking thing,
black and white rubber hose animation. Yeah. Fuck, do I want this to be good? I want it to be cool. I want it to be interesting. I am really, really excited for that game. I fucking love that rubber hose animation style. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. But the big three, Chris, the big three are Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
Yep.
That
Great
is
name,
coming
by the
this
way.
year. Yeah.
Just
Fuck.
really nailed it.
Death Stranding is so hard to say for me. I don't know why. It's my Spanish tongue, which is a weird thing to say, but I'm supposed to lisp, and every time I say those two words back together, I want to lisp, and it's frustrating. But Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yotai, and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Okay.
Fuck, man. Like,
I mean, yeah, none of those three can surprise me in the least. Isn't that other Final Fantasy thing coming out this year? Or did you not even play that one?
I haven't even gotten to the second one yet.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time. I will get to it. I am beyond excited and thrilled and all of those things with what is happening. It is a fucking crazy whatever that they are doing. Like, it's fucking nuts. But I'm so interested in it. I just don't have the time. You know, I want to have the time, but like Death Stranding 2, I'm going to have the time. Fucking Ghost of Yotai, if it's anything like Ghost of Tsushima, I'm going to have the time. And Metal Gear Solid 3, the original, is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I think it makes my top 5. You know, like, I think it might. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that, like, seriously, because it's such a ridiculous exercise. But, you know, maybe it is something we'll do at some point when we're out of other ideas. But it's definitely in the top 10 of all time. And to play that game with some modern sensibilities, because there's still some Kojima frustrations and whatnot. Yeah, those 3 games coming out this year, fuck, man. And this South of Midnight, that is... It's a big year for me. My hands better start working at some point, Chris.
I'm sure they will.
At least a little bit, you know? I don't need
enough
to work
to,
perfectly.
Yeah, and enough to get you through it. Enough to make you able to play video games.
Yeah.
Cosmically, that has to happen.
It has to. Otherwise, this is going to be a real weird podcast going forward. So I played more Snap.
Pad and Snap.
That's right. I can't even play Pad.
Oh,
I gotta,
that's a bummer.
do fine motor movements, you know? Like, I can't even fucking do that.
Woof. All right. Well, I've got a couple of nebulous ones.
All right, what do you got?
I am very much looking forward to whatever Sony pivots to, because they have had a real big rude awakening. They've canceled a handful of live service projects because they've finally figured out that there's not infinite time and money in the world, so you can't have 19... They had 12 live service games coming. What were you thinking?
What's wrong with you? Yeah.
You can't... That doesn't exist. That time for people on this planet doesn't exist to have a quarter of those be successful. What a phenomenal waste of resources.
Yeah, just absurd. Absurd.
But they have been smacked in the face with the success of Astrobot and the miserable failure of Concord and the like.
Yeah.
They landed a hit on Helldivers. Stick with that and put your focus on the things that people actually want to buy. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere in Sony, it will occur to them that it is okay to just make a whole fuckload of money. You don't actually have to make 20 bajillion fuckloads of money. You can just do really well. You can make AA games, turn a profit, call it a day. You can do that. And people will love you for it.
Yeah, they will. They really, really will. I will. I mean, I already...
You got any other nebulous stuff? You got any nebulous stuff, or am I just...
I mean, fucking... Silksong?
Uh-huh.
You know, like maybe...
They say it's still in development.
Show me something, because I'm starting along. To, like... is it? Is it really? You're saying it is, but like, show me something, you know? Fuck, man.
Yeah, like, I'm very concerned as to why they feel they can't actually show anything. Like, popping on Twitter from time to time and being like, yeah, we're still working on it. That doesn't fill me with a whole lot of anything. It's like, come on, guys. It's been years. Like, it's been
I assumed you were still working on it. Like, you better still be working on it, because if you're not, what are you doing?
How are you
Team
keeping
Cherry?
the lights on? What
yeah,
are you doing?
Come on, man. You know, it's... I want it. I want it. I deserve it.
The most obvious thing in the world, the thing I'm looking forward to more than anything else in the world this year, is Switch 2.
Yeah,
I'm so curious about that platform and what it can do and what games they're going to be working on and how backwards compatibility works and how the eShop's going to look and what's going on with Nintendo Switch Online. It's been so long. It's going to be 8 years since we've had a new Nintendo platform. It's such an exciting time. And this is the first time my kids have been old enough to experience that kind of excitement. Like,
right.
I'm fucking stoked. New Nintendo hardware. What is it going to be? What are we going to do with it? I'm out of my mind excited. New Nintendo games on new hardware. I can't wait to see what they do with that kind of power.
Yeah, me neither. As much as I don't, love a lot of their mainline releases, like as we've talked about, like Mario's not for me, Kirby's not for me, whatever. I love them dearly, and I'm just so fucking curious as to where they're going to go and what they're going to do. Yep. And theoretically, I'm going to get Mario Kart 9.
Yeah, and there's a new Mario Kart. Whether it's 9 or not, who knows? But
or this year or not. But
there's no way they're not launching with that. That's the first game they showed. They're not going to show that game first. That's probably been done and dusted for like
for 5 or 6 years.
At least 2 or 3 years. That game has been done and dusted. And there's like, well, what would be the fucking point of releasing it? Mario Kart 8 just sold another 1 million copies in the last 15 minutes. Right. Who knows why? It's a great game, but like, come on, guys. What the fuck? All right.
But enough.
Nintendo would have been fools to release Mario Kart 9 during the Switch generation, because 8 just keeps selling. It wasn't a freaking Switch game.
I know.
Looney Tunes.
I think the thing that I am most excited for, though, is the same thing that I get excited for every year, of what we don't know yet. Right. Because Vampire Survivors, that was not a game that you and I talked about in our preview of 2022 or whatever, and then, this fucking Vampire Survivors game came out, and I think I brought it up to you first and was like, you should check this out. I feel like you would love it. And then that was that.
I think I found out about it through watching Steph Sterling stuff, but I can't remember for sure.
Remember. Yeah. Last year, Balatro. What the fuck, This game comes out of absolutely nowhere and is this incredible thing. Animal Well, right, that came out last year. So fucking cool. Like, there's so much stuff that we don't know yet, and it's always so exciting, particularly in the indie gaming space, where there's just, there might be the next fucking Undertale this year. That is possibly out there. And it's just going to be a thing that gets released, like, oh shit, all of a sudden everybody's talking about this game and you got to check it out. It's the same thing that gets me excited every year.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that this year I also have Death Stranding and Ghost of Yotai and shit, but,
Yeah, I have Metroid Prime 4 to look forward to, which is great, but like, yeah, the shit I don't know about. But the big one, I'm looking forward to that physical and television Amico hardware.
Oh boy, it's coming.
It's coming. It's gonna happen. This is their year, Dan. This is their year. They're gonna pull it off. I'm sure of it.
If if it's not this year, then next year, maybe.
That
also
probably
is a possibility. Could be their year. But, fucking Jesus.
That's still a part of the
liberty.
conversation. Absolutely insane.
It's weird. It's weird.
There's been on a similar topic. I'm not going to talk about it for a whole long time, but there's been a lot of. So it was announced, I think, yesterday or today that the updates to Atari 50 are no longer coming to Atari VCS or Good Old Games, and that's Digital
weird.
Eclipse was like, I'm not surprised. They had originally said that they were coming and that they were going to be free for VCS owners.
Right.
Getting Atari 50 running on the VCS was apparently quite the Herculean task. For the 8, that system's not built very well. It's just not. I love my VCS.
But still,
it's a stupid little thing, but it's just not built very well. And that game, it runs weirdly quiet. It doesn't load the same as other VCS games do. And games still come out for the VCS, but when they announced, Digital Eclipse is just like, we just can't make this work and the way that we want it to, and it's an awful lot of work and they didn't obviously say the second
people that own it.
Yeah, they didn't say the second part. They were of like, look, this is not worth the effort because it's just not.
It's just not.
These people in the Atari VCS Facebook group that are taking this like Atari has forsaken us. They hate the VCS and they hate all of us, and it would be so easy for them to just keep that thing running and make it super cool. And I'm sitting here like, look, I don't understand how you don't understand this. This system was built incredibly poorly before Wade Rosen took over the company. He took over the company and he didn't look at that thing and say, that needs to go in the garbage immediately. I'm sorry to the people who bought it, but we can't support this. They made that shit work for the last 3 years or however long it's been. They have tried to keep it alive. There's a constant stream of games hitting the shop from time to time. Not a ton of them, but it's not completely dry. And they put their games on the other systems because they have to. Because if they don't, they're never going to stay in business. Nobody has a VCS. Right. Nobody's buying this system it can barely handle stuff that the Switch can handle with ease. What are we doing here? So the fact that this system's even been around as long as it has, I think is a miracle. And clearly, it's not a big part of that company's future. They've talked a lot about ways to make it that, with the Polymega add-ons or whatever.
Yeah.
But clearly that stuff's not financially panning out because the system's not selling. And I think talking shit on Atari for not continuing to support a system that is underperform, it makes the Virtual Boy look like a fucking success story of their dreams. If the VCS could reach Virtual Boy numbers, they'd be doing cartwheels right now. It's unbelievable the degree of anger that people have towards Atari for not sticking with the VCS. They did stick with it for a couple of years, but they're not this huge corporation. They're not this gigantic company that you think they are. They're not very big anymore. They have, as far as I know, they have fewer than 100 employees. They're not a really big company, and they've got other fish to fry to keep themselves in business. I was just completely gobsmacked looking at these comments. Really, these people aren't at all in touch with reality of just well, you know what? It's been a pretty good run, and it's not like it's dead. It's not like they've officially announced they're no longer releasing games for the VCS. This is this kind of thing that's very resource heavy with lots of recorded video and audio is just Atari 50 takes up so much space on the VCS. It's absurd. It's most of your hard drive built in. You can't have very many other games if you have Atari 50 on there.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't make sense for them to spend the resources on it. It simply doesn't.
But you know, like, especially when we're talking about these older niche kind of brands, like, fan has always been short for fanatic. You know, and when you are dedicated enough to, like, you are somewhat of a rarity in the like Atari retro space. You know what I mean? Like, Ferg is too, because Ferg's not a crazy person. But like, when you have these, we watched the videos of YouTube creators fucking trying to convince everybody how amazing the Intellivision Amico was going to be. And I don't give a fuck what that system actually came out as. It was going to be a fucking flop. It was going to be a failure.
It was going to be niche at best. And if that was fine with them...
If they were lucky. But, like, there's a reason that GTA 6 is going to sell all of the copies, because that's what people don't want to fucking play Atari games anymore, unless they're old. Like, you know, and that's okay. But stay in your lane, and the new Call of Duty is not coming out on the VCS. There is no way to make that a comparable, profitable system. There just isn't. That's okay.
Not. The amount of money they have to charge for something right now, like, I'm sure they weren't exactly making money when they were dropping that thing for $200 during the holidays. Like,
no, like,
it just is what it is. It's fine. It's a neat, niche little thing that plays a handful of Atari games in a fun way. It's got its own little store. It's got its own little community, and it's neat. But, like, I feel there seems to be people that think this should be, like, competing with the other companies. They talk about the Xbox and the PlayStation as their competitors. Like, no, they're fucking not.
No,
they're really not.
That's absurd. That's like saying the Savannah Bananas are competing with Major League Baseball. Like, they definitely fucking aren't. They're both playing baseball. That's a fact. But that's it. That's where the similarities end. It's okay. Fuck. Take it to wrestling, dude. I fucking love AEW. AEW is not competition for WWE. It's not. It's okay that it's not. But, like, it just isn't. It's a different fucking thing. And I am so happy that AEW exists. And I am thrilled that I get to watch it every week. And it's so exciting that it's on Max and all of that shit. But they just announced, or last year they announced that they were going to have a big show in Australia for the first time. We're going to Australia. We're going to have a big stadium show at, like, one of the rugby stadiums or something like that. And then they put the tickets on sale, and everybody went, nah, we're not going. And they went, oh, well, okay, fuck. And they had to move it to a much, much smaller arena. And there's a lot of other stuff that went into it as well. But when WWE went to Australia, they had no problem selling out, because it's just different. It's okay that it is. You know, like, it's okay. The Rock doesn't wrestle for AEW. He's the biggest movie star in the world. He works for the other guys, you know? Like, it's just, enjoy the shit. And here's my point, because now we're just rambling because we're both tired. Here's my point. Enjoy the shit that you have. Like, enjoy it. Instead of being upset about what it isn't, enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you always want things to improve. Sure, obviously, I get that. But it's 2025. There is a functioning Atari console. Shut up.
Yes, it's neat.
Shut up.
Anyway, well, there you go. That's my preview of 2025. You got anything else?
No, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm spent.
Yeah, me too. That was fun.
Let's go Silksong. Yeah. No, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a great year in certain respects. There's a big fat fucking asterisk next to that.
There's a gigantic orange fucking asterisk. And I know. God, look, all right. This is the last thing we'll say. This is the last thing I'll say. And I will shut the fuck up. We said on this show 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever the fuck it was, that we were going to try not to go down that road, right? To leave the fucking Trump and the right wing shit and leave it and just not talk about it. And it's not fucking possible. It's not possible for us to never bring it up again. And if that bothers anybody who is listening, I am genuinely sorry that you are going to have to hear us talk about it at certain points throughout the next 4 to potentially 8 years, depending on how things go. But it's the reality of the world that we live in. It is going to directly affect this medium, this hobby, this interest that we all collectively share. And where this podcast should be an escape from that, and we will try our very, very best to keep it that. Also, fuck Nazis. You don't get to fucking make Nazi salutes at a presidential rally. Induction. Like, what? It's going to get brought up. It's going to happen. And I apologize if it upsets people and that makes you not want to listen. I get it. I understand it. But through our collective nonsense, that is how we are going to get through this. Kris and I have been talking about some things that we are going to try to do to put some fucking positivity into this world. Because when we say, like, we love you and we appreciate you and all of that shit, it is genuine. It is heartfelt. This should be a space for you to be comfortable. And we want you to be that way. We've been doing this long enough to where we think we know we are our audience, but maybe we don't. I don't know. Maybe there's just a bunch of right-wing grifters that are like, man, every time I listen to this podcast, but sometimes they bring up my Lord and Savior, and it just fucking Trumpomania is running wild. Maybe. I doubt it, though. So, I'm sorry. But it's going to come up.
Yep.
Yep. And that's how you know the show is unscripted.
I have nothing to add because you're 100% right. I'm going to try not to focus on it too much, but it is what it is, and this is the world we live in, and it's going to start affecting us in a multitude of ways.
It's going to happen. Your $400 Switch 2 might be $500 now.
We were just talking about how physical
Blu-rays,
PlayStation and Xbox games are going to be a problem.
This is going to come up.
But we're going to try to stay as positive as we can. And with that, it is time to wrap up the show. That is it, everybody. That is our show. Join us next time for the January 10, 20, 30, 40. We're going to talk about the games that came out 10, 20, 30, and 40 years ago in January. And I think it should be fun because we got past the dregs. A lot of last year was not great, but I have a good feeling about this year. I have a good feeling about this year. So anyway, we're on most social media platforms. If you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by banjo guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. And we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.